Pussy eating tortilla with
Yeah,
ketchup.
like what do you mean? Pussy
Pussy eating tortilla with ketchup.
Like what? I'm like, Andy, we need to fix your
We
fucking
just need
fridge.
to write like a webtoon or something. Like I feel like pussy eating tortilla with ketchup would be a hit with
I won't lie
demographics.
to you. If I did see that title, I would click on it and I would be oddly confused. I would be like, huh, this is interesting. I'm like, okay.
Oh gosh, shit, where are we? I don't think the bus driver.
Oh my
I
god.
don't think I did either. It's okay.
Oh no. Oh. It's a disaster.
I was
that's what
tabbed
saying.
out
Bus
because
driver's gonna
Camilo's
grief
bullying
us.
me.
Camilo.
Hello,
Jar
hi
of
Samsies, how are you
dirt.
doing?
Give me this jar of dirt. I
It
got
should-
it. I
I'm about
got
to
the
say,
jar of dirt.
Do we all have to click it?
I still need to get my weekly quest done from like 2 weeks ago because I never pick up a sniper. Wait a
I
second.
hate to like spin gold bars. Can I spin gold bars here?
Oh, I don't have
Man.
enough money to hire Mr. Sir. What the fuck am I doing?
Bean man.
I'm landing.
Also,
Come
there's
here.
a heal thing right here. In the
Landing on
gold,
nothing?
spend gold.
I don't need this, but I'm just gonna buy. Do you guys want shotguns? They're terrible. But
I'll
Sure,
take
wait.
anything right now.
Also, if you want a sniper, we can go to Hope so you can get one.
I just need to do a quest with it. I'm not gonna actually hit it. I need to knock back a vehicle.
okay, look, you guys can have these
Well, yeah, 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 yeah.
shotguns. They're my gift to you. I need to just
Oh,
spend gold.
you wouldn't.
You should have
I
just
would-
spent gold at the mod
I'd
bench
just
instead,
say
dingus.
It's fine. It's
Indeed.
fine. It's
Indeed.
literally fine.
Indeed.
Take the shotguns.
I
They're a
would
gift.
rather stroke you than use that.
Ha!
Whoa.
I would like to
I
watch.
mean, I mean.
Stop!
No, nobody wants to
Hygiene.
cock my
I
shotgun.
should not be
I
I should not be
despise
streaming
that
right now, but
so
we are. This is what we're
much.
doing.
It's pretty
Is
good.
audio levels okay?
He's like, I can't even look at it now.
I have.
The heck?
I have.
What the heck?
Juice.
I need a gun. I have I have gray
Here for the
guns.
fizzy
Come-
juice. Fizzy. Why you run?
I'm
Fizzy?
looting. I'm looting.
Fizzy. No, I need you for Fizzy. Everyone, Fizzy.
Thank you, Cat Sir.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for
Oh, I
jizzing on
actually
me.
No problem.
Thank you for jizzing on me.
Come sharing.
No, the way that laugh sounded so like.
It was the awkward laugh for me.
That was nice. Oh my god.
Hulk smash.
Ooh, blue. Let's go. Finally.
Whoa. Where am I?
This is such a weird.
Did you have another? Was there another pistol? Shotgun? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, this one. Get to Hope.
Wait, I have a quest marker here.
Who's the first player to mod a vehicle is insane.
Seho 3D glasses is fucking wild.
I want to play Fortnite in VR.
That would be very.
It'd be so
Oh
funny.
my- Oh my god.
I feel like you get barrel rolled in a car.
I
Oh my God.
fucking lose it.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God. I will catch up to you guys. I am just running the hope so I can grab this fucking.
Wait. I wanna. We're in trios, sir. Indy, you got the Uber. Oh, what'd you do to Uber?
Oh, you're real. Hello. And you're dead.
This is like the worst
Hmm.
place. Oh, wait, maybe? No.
I'm out.
Wait, maybe? Wait, maybe?
Fuck it. If it just wasn't 600
Wait,
meters,
maybe.
dang it. Oh well. I'm coming back.
If you
Oh.
Okay,
Are they
this is
chasing you?
literally the worst place.
Oh, people? No, it's just 600 meters is too far to run on foot. If I had fists, maybe.
What about a vehicle?
I don't see any exactly. All I see are trash cans and cactuses.
Anything's a vehicle if you're brave enough.
Ambitious.
We should also push the circle anyway, so.
Oh wait,
Fine.
shoot.
And the
He has a-
cannons!
He has a purple SUV. Let's go. Let me finesse it for you. I hope you know, Alex, because of you, I haven't touched a fucking AR in centuries.
Hell yeah, boy, that's what you gotta do. That's what I'm telling you. We're efficient.
It really is, especially when you don't have a shotgun. It's nice.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what are you using?
SMG.
Oh, the burst?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Oh god.
You should run.
So wait, are we getting magnetoed?
I was doing that so I could get across. I just saw you stand there, like turn around. You're like, where's this coming from?
I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, okay, this is great. Oh, no one took nitro. Let's go.
Yeah, let's
I mean,
do
not
it.
Nitro, fucking.
Alright, goodbye forever, I love you all.
Bye,
Love you,
Lumen.
too, man. Take me.
Ow. Oh, okay. Ooh, do you see that trick shot I just did?
Listen, these people are way too close to each other. Oh.
Ah. What? Die.
Why am I getting build materials?
Oh.
She didn't drop fists. They take them out of the game?
No?
No,
They
it's there.
might have changed the.
There we go. I was say I need her to fall.
Oh god, first game is fuck me up.
Oh, wait, here.
I didn't say anything.
You did it after. I saw you took the bow. I was like, yep. She's gonna need it more than I will.
Medallion car's nearby. I don't want to drive this car, so you do you, boo. Reload.
Can't let them have it.
I just had a threesome with
I'm
my
gonna drop this
Chipotle
off at
What the
store.
fuck?
Chick-fil-A fries.
I'm getting out.
You can't. You had a threesome? Oh my god, did you have fun? Was it consensual and beautiful? What the fuck is that? Is that a boat?
Yes.
Oh
there's
yeah, you
boats.
could summon
Yeah.
a boat.
Alright,
There's a lot of people over here.
I'm coming.
I messed up.
There's a car right there. Watch out in there. How did you get so
I'm
far
dropping
out?
frames.
I nitroed?
Oh, I was dropping frames earlier too. I was like, dang.
So it's always the first fucking game too.
Car's about to explode. You ditching it?
What the fuck was the hello? My game crashed?
Oh.
No, it's okay. Okay, that was weird. That was very awkwardly weird.
The guy's really low. I think they're below us
Volume?
here
Yeah, oh, no. Front,
because they had a bot.
in front
Oh,
right there.
I see.
We should move. We should move. We should move.
Yeah, we got 20 seconds. We need to go.
Oh, that's the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't really have movement. Oh, can we get tower right here? I don't have heals. Never mind. It's gonna be a storm. Oh, they're coming at us. They're coming at us.
That's right. Oh yeah, I forgot we have medallion.
Yeah, it's on me. I really need fists.
Are you good, MD? Oh, you're fighting the bots. Alright, I won't start too far.
I hear footsteps, but I don't. I think they're just the bot. I'm just gonna try to push storm here.
Yeah,
It's the
there's a
last
little
bot.
bot on you, yeah. There we go. Alright, come here, Andy.
Alright,
Never mind,
I
you
got
already
make
did it.
it.
Did you get the storm tower?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh my god, this boat over here is. Oh, what is going on? What is this? Oh, this team's like right on my ass here. Oh, never mind. They fucked off. Yeah, we should go up this way when you guys have a chance. Both in a car? Okay. There's a mending machine over here. Oh, okay.
Nice. Okay.
Oh god. Ow.
Oops, my bad.
It's okay.
I'm going over here. See you.
Alright.
Medallion is on me. Okay, I think Ayla just spawned and that team is there.
Boat.
You got any ammo? Here. Why do I have build materials? Here, take some build materials.
This.
I don't think anybody's on island at the moment in time.
We could go to
I
island.
see a big fight though.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
no
it's
one's
a-
claimed it. We could touch it.
Yeah, it's a. I think it's a bot fight. I also feel like there's a team. The other medallion team is
Oh, there's a lot of
Oh,
gunfire over
yeah.
here.
Yeah. If we see, oh, there's a swing right there. And then we can check it out. Alright, I'm going in.
Gunfire.
I'm in.
Somebody went up.
No one's on top. lied. There's a guy down up here. Look. I think we're Gucci. I think they all went back down. So we'll try to
Okay,
claim it.
let's try to claim this real quick.
I got both of them, or two of them.
There's a car. It's coming up. This is the medallion car.
Anything Ow, my face! I'm dead.
Where are you?
I'm down below.
Hello.
Car got me. It's full of bitches.
Oh, Ash baby, welcome back.
Welcome back, Ash
How was
baby.
your dog walk? Back up. Yep. Knocked one.
Where are they? I don't even see them.
They're in the center.
Oh, I'm stuck
Yeah.
down here? Oh my god, I'm stuck down here. I don't have heals. I'm stuck down here and I don't have heals.
Reloading. I'm back. I know said he's down below.
Yeah.
I don't know where the fuck he is.
Oh,
Get to
God.
My body. There's like
Here, take
two
it.
medkits maybe still. Oh.
I went to grab the
I got
medallions and
stuck.
shoot you. I was like, oh,
I
what
got
the fuck?
stuck.
I
I got
about
stuck.
to go up and they got hit by the car and then they ran me over before I got to the other pull up. So
Oh my
that
god.
sucked.
Oh my god.
Are you officially?
Chat, I love you so much. Hi Mars, hi Camilo. Hi Johnny, hi Aurora, hi Jean. Yeah, I just wanted to stream this because there's very silly things happening right now. But love you. I'm not super chatty today, but we're focused on the games. But I hope you guys are doing good. We're all back.
See.
I'm here. I'm cooking something better.
Better than a single tortilla, raw, boneless. That's crazy. Boneless tortilla.
I love how we just use the word boneless. for this kind of thing. Boneless tortilla. Oh my god.
Boneless tortilla. My soul is
She's terrifying. I don't like her face.
Yeah, no, her face has been. it's
That's
so
creepy.
Yeah.
Scary.
Ugh.
Not the OG Fortnite dance. Oh my jeez.
I know. Put it in my locker. It's my gritty.
It's
It's my gritty. I love it.
How was your dog walk, Edith?
Fun.
What's your dog's name?
Bo.
That's like BO or.
That's what you
Oh,
got,
yeah,
Coco.
yeah.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay, that's crazy.
For how sweaty you are at this damn game? Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Shaking my fucking head. Oh my god.
SMH my head.
Oh, don't forget to take the bus driver.
I hope Bo did good today. I need to knock back vehicles with a heavy impact sniper rifle. Oh yeah, I want to see what this is all about.
I was about to say, Alex hasn't seen this.
I
yet.
haven't
It's,
seen this.
It's glorious.
I haven't
We've
seen
been dropping
this.
here almost every time.
Oh god.
It's
Alright,
so
mateys. Darty blows.
99% of the time, that ship is literally destroyed after, even after the season ends.
What's? I'm just gonna go in blind because I don't know what's here. You know, there's
Jeffrey Rush is
cannons.
here. He's just chilling. You know?
Jeffree Star.
No,
Oh.
Jeffrey Rush. Talk to him like the.
Imagine Jeffrey.
I would
Star just
cry.
That would be great.
That's a sweat skin. That's a sweat skin. Oh my god.
Oh, that would be so fucking hilarious. I would love it if they were there. Oh my jeez.
Oh, what's this? It got
also
barnacles
shoot.
on it.
You shoot people
Ship in a
out
bottle. I got
the
a ship in a
camera.
Wait,
bottle.
did no one actually land
Like if you see this cannon, you can fire yourself out of the cannon.
Well, let me shield myself first. This is cool. Oh, yeah, just see you go
It's a
shopping
shopping
there.
cart.
You go shopping there. This is great. Oh my god! What is this?
There she goes.
Oh, this is gold. Oh, I'm getting the gold, bitch. Live, laugh, love that.
Oh gosh, the ship is
Hold
on
on.
fire. What is happening?
You just
Why is it just catching it
dive
on
off
fire?
and laugh. Oh. We lost Arnara.
Arnar?
I swear I've seen this ship
Camilla.
before.
Oh yeah. I had to think about that for a second.
There you go. I'm gonna shoot myself. This is so goofy.
Oh.
What the fuck?
You mean in game, of course, right? Like in game.
In game.
I'm Sayu. Oh my god, I love this. Oh, this is great.
Reagan, need that?
Oh, this is great. Oh, there's my sniper rifle. Fantastic. Das nichts hier.
Not Coco, just like ignoring my pot I threw him.
Oh shit! My bad. I'm chasing gold. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're fine.
I heard a vehicle. Hello.
Oh, there's a jail here?
From Jeffrey Rush. There's
Yep.
also a bunch of mushrooms over here, Coco.
Jeffree Star?
Jeffree Star.
I'm slowly turning.
That is the guy who plays
Oh no,
God,
Indy.
Barbosa. Yeah, my brain.
Jeffree Star?
Yeah, Jeffree Star. Yeah. It's not Jeffrey Rush. What was it?
Oh my, you can go so high with this. Am I going to?
Oh, somebody already bought the map.
Ow. Ow.
What does the ship in a bottle do?
It's almost a giant ship.
It's literally a giant ship.
Is
It
it-
only goes
Yeah.
one direction.
It's movement?
It crashes
No, I
into
just-
people.
No.
Yeah, it just crashes. It's huge, mostly.
It does like 50 damage. Very fun.
After I get my quest done, oh wait, there's a car right here, hold on.
That count?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can shoot any car. It doesn't have to have a person in it. There's a car coming though.
Okay. What? Oh, what the?
Oh yeah, I didn't even see him come up.
Yeah,
There's another car in the distance too.
I don't know where the fuck he came from. What the hell?
Okay, I got my
His
quest done.
footsteps- His footsteps came
Nice.
so last minute. Car.
Oh,
And it hit
Ow,
me.
you dead.
Fuck. Yep.
ow.
What is this?
He's trying to kill me. Ow. There's a Hulk. I'm dead.
Wait, am I actually gonna pull this off? No fucking way.
No fucking way. Oh
Somebody
my
just
God.
fisted close to you.
Pulled it off.
Somebody fisted close to you.
I'm actually so surprised that I actually pulled that off.
Okay.
This person's right here.
Hold on, my game froze again. What the hell?
Yep, I see you. People walking in police.
I don't want this fucking sniper, dude.
I
hate this sniper
I'm
scope.
gonna say I'll take it if you
Yeah,
don't.
I got my quest done. I got my quest done, so you can take it. Here, wait, find cover. Go in this house. Go in this house.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's still like one random person over here.
Nuka-Cola.
Okay, these cars are just going right by us.
They're back.
They're up here.
There's nothing really to say about it.
Oh, there's two of them.
It's fucking Marshmallow again. What the hell?
I was in the shop recently, so a lot of marshmallows nowadays.
I just do not have the ammo to fight this anymore, so I would like to fuck off.
Fuck you, Marshmallow. Once again,
I killed the Hulk.
I hate.
That's that one car.
Oh yeah, I'm dead here. Just 3 people came up on
it's
me.
terrible?
3
Oh,
people
whoa,
came
what
up on
the-
me, yeah.
Don't even do that.
One's literally almost dead. I need him to fucking die. Oh, knocked him out of the fucking car. Thank you,
Let's go.
jeez.
Oh, you did. Oh, shit, the bottle. Okay.
Okay, you have 2 medallion teams coming up on you. I think you should. That was fun.
I died.
Ooh, they dropped medallion.
Thank you for the reboot.
Oh, thank you for reboots.
Oh, they're covered. They're covered. Careful.
I'm trying to land towards Lavish.
Oh, they just ran away. Nice. Okay.
There's nothing in here.
Also, people shooting their Indy.
Yeah, I'm just not very feeling comfortable with the shooting and the. Figured the banana man would give me potions. Rezzing?
Yep. They probably res Marshmallow Man again. Like, yeah, but they're far, so we don't have to worry about that squad. Okay, you're Kishi.
There's fighting in Lavish. Oh god.
Oh. There's three.
I'm blind?
No, Fortnite's just colorful. Someone getting shot at. Oh, Yeetus. Okay.
Okay, I have things. I'm on my way.
Nice.
Ooh. Stop.
God, not having movement is so sucky.
Here, come here, come here.
squad, Indy. There's literally somebody right behind you.
I still have
You're good,
green weapons.
Really?
It was just Peabody. He went that way. So.
I hate Peabody. He's the stuff of nightmares.
I shall go to bunker. I didn't want to
Can I get in the car? Hello?
do it. Well, you know, I'm driving up to you.
Okay.
Andy Mist just subscribed. Hi Alex, I love you. Gale
Andy!
1 exagroove, 1 exagroove.
Thank you for the 32 months.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Come on, come on,
guy.
let's go, let's go.
Yeah, he tried chasing.
It's Marshmallow again!
He's alive.
It's a stupid
125.
free
Correct.
island.
Whoever's coming to you guys. Oh, I knocked him. Let's go. Over here.
There's a guy over here.
Yeah, there's a car coming at me.
Oh.
Is that you? Oh my,
I'm
there's two
coming towards you,
people.
but there's also two other
There's
guys.
two
Yeah,
cars.
yeah.
There's two cars here.
It's in my car. It sucks.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go to bunker.
Yeah, they're over here.
Right in front of.
Oh, look at Cola.
Whoever's with me. Go, get in. Let's move. Let's move. There's another team.
Ah,
Go, get in.
Yep.
There's definitely another team already here at bunkers, so.
Meet Cola.
Yeah, they're fighting in there.
Footsteps?
Damn! I thought we trapped him.
I'm about to say he trapped us in here. Oh my jeez.
Oh, he left.
I need to heal myself.
He actually trapped us in here good too. I was like, damn.
That was me.
Oh, you trapped us in here. Oh,
I tried to
damn.
trap him.
Oh well, it's okay. Also, zone's closing. Be ready.
I'm out.
Good for the islands.
Maybe there's nobody there yet. I think they're heading to island.
I don't have
Oh,
movement.
we gotta go there first.
There's a medallion coming.
EMP, perfect.
Am I alone? Oh, Indy's down there. Okay. Yeah, I hear this car.
There's a car.
Stronger in numbers.
They decide to come up and
I need fists
Not.
so bad.
Oh
They're not
yeah,
coming up.
luckily these gives us fist.
ooh, up
Purple sniper? There's EMPs if anybody wants.
I have
a bottle.
6. Shipping a bottle, eh?
Okay, I like this loadout. I can do that. I can deal with this loadout.
You might want a purple.
We should go soon.
Yeah.
I think they got. I think they got tower. TBH. The way they're moving. They're
here
near
for-
Oscar. Oh, they're right here. They're right here. Yeah, let's go up. I'm going up here. They're in a car, so I should have grabbed those EMPs.
I have 6.
Oh, perfect. I have bunkers, so whatever. I have it.
Yeah, they're coming up this mountain here.
No, they don't have power.
So they don't.
I mean, if they do, they're kind of not using it. So nothing.
I don't know what they're trying to do.
Trying to make us think about it. They're that smart. That's what it is.
Reload check. Now getting shot at? Oh yeah, there's a team right here.
That's a fake car. That's interesting.
It's a solo right here. The car's done. It's the Hulk. It's the same team. He's pretty low.
You slide down? Yeah, he did.
Can I have rockets?
I have a lot of rockets here. They're
Other
up,
team's
they're
coming up.
Spike broken. Wow, they did not prefer that at all.
I didn't see where they went. Oh, he's down here.
Yeah, he's gone. Fuck.
It's gonna be a car fight right here. Roke was done right here, but this person's like literally somewhere really
Oh,
close to
God.
us.
What? Somebody just shot
Fire.
something?
Car coming up.
Firework. Oh.
Destroyed.
Is it coming up?
This
No,
person down
he's
here is
still alive.
really low.
Fisting up. He's fisting up.
Nah, he's running. Knocked him.
Ah, I'm getting shot at. There's a guy behind here.
Coco
He's
behind you.
I got him. He's knocked. Oh, God. I'm a nut.
I need rockets. I need rockets. I need rockets. I need rockets.
Here.
What the heck is this?
Thank you.
Oh, that shield
Oh,
down.
shield. Okay.
Oh.
I'm going over there. I'm going over there. Wait, wait.
I
No,
need
no,
a
no.
fucking med
Think
kit.
about this. Yeah, here. But if we can get like up here on this hill. There's one person on this hill right here.
No one here.
The guy over there is the medallion holder on the other hill here. Do you have rockets, Indy? Indy, come back
yes,
here
I
behind the
do.
rock. Come back
Yes,
here
I
behind the rock.
Oh, I don't have any rockets.
Okay, okay.
Rockets.
Hold on. Let me
But
create some cover for them. One circle.
still have EMPs though.
Yeah, if a car comes at us, just try to use it.
I don't
Gotcha.
think there's any
It'll
more
still-
cars anymore.
Yeah, there are.
is. Shit. I think making is that a fake? With you? It is. Oh, destroyed the car. That's the same team we fought earlier
Mhm.
on the hill.
You can never catch a break with this team, huh?
Huh, apparently. Big knocker, bro. They're coming up, I think. Are they? They are.
There's a guy with fist coming up. Well, maybe not. He's just escaping.
This one's low, right here. Indy, there's somebody on your other side coming up. That one's knocked. Coco, do you have rockets?
Yeah.
Come in here, come in here. Okay, never mind. Here, come back here. Thank you so much.
Where is are they?
Next circle is gonna be like this tip.
guy
Have
right there.
two
Guy in the
others
car.
left. Oh, hello?
Red EMP.
Oops, I slipped. I hit him with the EMP. No, I
Nice,
didn't.
nice. Yes, you did.
Hello?
I
Wait,
did?
where did
Okay,
I
cool.
get you? A sniper, that makes sense. Thank you. Different person. I don't think I can.
Missing all my fucking shots, dude.
I missed that.
Back two.
The head is still up there. I'm really low.
Figured I'd save that for something.
I was just wondering.
I was crushing. I was up 2 health. Let's go. Good job.
Oh my goodness.
Whew. Oh, big up. Oh my god, what's up, Steve? Oh, I'm going back to lobby and fucking save that one. I was crouching. I saw that little tick footsteps. Y'all running around like chickens. I said, let me put a band-aid on my boo-boo and then I'ma fucking throw this rocket in your goddamn face, bitch.
Let me put a band-aid on my boo-boo. What a fucking that.
I'ma start saying that now every time I need a heal shop.
You should. That's a
No, it didn't save.
No.
G-Force!
No.
A good thing I'm
What?
streaming, because then I can just clip through there. Hey, good
man.
job, good job. Oh, that felt nice. Felt
I'm gonna say I got
nice.
sweaty towards the end. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna make game
We
face
got-
on. Holy
we
shit.
got shit on at the beginning with
Mhm.
the marshmallow team. I say that.
fucking
I'm just
marshmallow team.
Fuck that marshmallow. Oh my god.
Ew.
Did the ship help at the end?
I mean it kind of blew the entire cover, but it forced the
Oh,
other
I
team
was-
to get out of there, which was good.
That's what I was
True.
trying to do. So wait on the ship next time. Gotcha.
Oh, Andy, you clipped it. Let's go.
Did I clip it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know that I clipped things.
I know Andy, not Indy.
Oh,
LOL.
Oh, Indy.
Say, I was like, what?
Nice.
I don't even remember. Okay.
And he just goes, chat, clip that.
Chat.
Everyone's like,
Clip
yes,
it.
sir. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Yes, my lord.
I'm ready to keep running it. Y'all got plans tonight?
Not
Feel
really.
better. That's literally it.
Feel
That's literally
better?
Feel better. Yeah, that's literally like I think I'm about to be on LOA again, which is sucky, but yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing with the feel better? Are you getting
My
there?
right ear is like completely closed out, so
You need
That's
to feel
fun.
better harder, you know? It's just
I mean, you can make me harder. I mean, wait, what?
Whoa. Pause it. I forgot I had sea shanties
I
playing.
I wish I had
You
some
still
alcohol.
have sea shanty? Oh my god.
There's
Alcohol
a
actually
sea
does sound
shanty-
really good right now.
Like, you know, I want like a little margarita. Like a spicy margarita. Sounds delicious right now. I want that emote.
I want a Seagram. I don't know why.
Oh,
Just
damn.
want a random
I'm
Seagram.
so happy I got that one.
Do you not like Seagrams? You just
What? Huh?
Oh, see. I messed up.
Well,
I have whiskey.
Ooh, yummy.
If you want us to get fucked, why did you
Yes.
just say so?
I have no food here, but I have whiskey somewhere.
Indie just like me for real. A tortilla and a dream.
We'll see. I don't really drink that often. That's why the whiskey's still there.
I may have left the bus already.
Oh, I do have
Uh-oh,
alcohol.
where'd you go?
I'm on Zeus's back. I'm
Throne?
giving Zeus back
Oh.
shots as we speak.
Oh,
what?
you dropped early. Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Um,
we're gonna do heavy rotation here. I'm gonna
what did this say?
flex my Fortnite skills with a crazy rotation. I also see a ooh, is that a blue chest down there? Oh my god. Pray I get every movement item in the game and we're set.
You know what else is blue? You did.
My balls.
I was gonna say. Balls? Balls?
No, I was gonna say the water, guys. It's crazy. Why would
That's
you think
crazy. The sky is the clearest blue. Like these nuts, you know? Ooh, coconut.
Uh-oh.
Early.
Almost took fall damage. You guys
I was
had to come
trying to
save
figure
me.
out what was going on where we were dropping that I hesitated so long in the sky that I ended up dropping over here. So I'll be there too.
Did
Oh, well, not too far from you guys.
Oh, he shot me and I wasn't. Oh my fuck!
We're
Wait.
just doing
Come
a Four
here.
Corners thing.
Come
It's
here
fine.
and get your nuts sucked, my guy. Come here.
Whoa.
Any day.
Whoa.
He shot me, which caused me to stop fucking. It's gold.
Oh, dude, you already got a gold?
His nuts are gold?
I want gold nuts.
It's a gold.
Might go get McDonald's. No, I gotta save for TwitchCon. Wait, do I have food in the fridge?
You have some food in the freezer?
In the fridge, maybe. I don't know. Refrigerator.
Fridge, refrigerator, same difference.
Alright, where are you
I have,
guys?
like,
Oh, you're
frozen
all the way over
dumplings,
there.
But I
We're,
have no way
we're,
to
we're
cook them.
gone, fam. We-
Okay, you know what? I'll meet you guys around. I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Bring it around town.
There's not a tower here. There is a bunker by me.
Man, oh man.
I so. I don't want the sniper.
Yeetus.
Oh.
Oh, you got food.
Oh! It's a hammer home. It was gold.
Oh, it's gold. Oh, I'm sorry, but GG's.
I hate this. Oh, it's a
Okay.
silencer. Perfect.
No, you don't need a silencer. Oh my god, that is
On a
horrible.
shotgun?
On a
Uh-huh.
pump shotgun, no less.
That's
Oh.
Choices. You know what? Whatever you need, we support that. Except for Coco. Coco doesn't support that. Coco is the resident hater.
I'm known as Uncle Ruckus Sticky.
Uncle Ricky
Oh.
Sticky. I hate that. I hate that so much. Ew. Uncle Sticky Rick. Ugh. Why is he sticky?
Well,
Because apparently, if you can't spell sticky, all you get is sticky. So
Sticky Rick.
Is there a tower?
why are you not working for me?
The blues.
Oh, Yeetus, you bitch. Why that? Why? I was trying to jump on it and then you just shoot at it. I'm like, what? That deflated way too early.
I'm gonna try to get this tower right here.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
gonna do the shadow quest. 'Cause
can I
need to do
not
shadow
climb these
quests,
fucking steps? There we go.
Three things, whatever, what have you.
I also have a purple sniper for those who are interested.
If you don't want it, I will take it.
I will absolutely take it.
Okay, find me a DMR with a thermal scope, and we're best friends.
Oof.
Fair trade.
I'm gonna say DMR was it a thermal? Oof. And you said purple too, so I was like, fuck.
Both bunkers near Olympus are gonna open. Something just flew by me. What the fuck?
I want to get my package.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
What
Oh
Might
package?
god.
die.
Oh, that I thought you meant like legitimately at your house you're
No,
getting
no,
a fucking package.
I don't have
No,
money.
I don't have no money.
People
Okay.
that have money.
You can, Indy, you can have a package before you ran out of money.
A pump shotgun gold. Why?
I'm actually stupid, stupid game. What
I
the
hate this game.
hell? What
I
is
don't
it
wanna
me
do
with the game and hammer pumps?
I think it's telling us to all use a pump shotgun.
Hell no. I'm forced
Yeah,
to because I have no other
we
choices.
lose the game so fast. Oh my jeez.
I'm doing it. I'm using this.
Good
gonna
luck,
say-
sir.
It's gonna save me.
Oh, not having movement is so.
Redacted.
Yes.
Ship. Where's ship?
Oh my god, look at that.
Gone.
Look at all this loot on the
No.
floor.
Why did it just disappear?
Well, there are people here. Lots of
Are
people.
they?
Hello?
I'm gonna say, are they good though? That's the better
I
question.
don't know.
They're shooting at my car, so
They are shooting at my car.
I found
Yeah,
a
somebody.
green
Yeah, somebody's
DMR with
flying
a
in, so
thermal.
I think he's real.
Yeah, a team just killed everybody over there. So
I'm gonna die. It's fine. It was nice knowing everyone.
I got tower.
How?
If you can get out of there, get out of there.
How in the heavenly hells?
Oh god, what's this scope?
Thermals. The thermals
good
save me.
God.
Oh, what the fuck? You motherfucker. Jeffrey Rush. Oh, that's not Jeffrey Rush. That's Davey. Fuck you, Davey.
Oh, I can't believe the canyon is actually saving me. This is crazy.
Davey chased me down.
Davy
Motherfucker.
Jones.
Mr. Jones.
Oh my god, I have this stupid glitch of the.
From the gloves.
Yeah. Oh here, take the sniper. I don't want it. Wait, where are the gloves? See if I can pick them up and put it back down. No, I don't want this. Maybe if I give myself nitro? No. Okay. Well, this is gonna fuck up my shots. They went.
Indy,
Oh
how
yeah.
sweaty were the people who killed you?
Hmm?
How sweaty were the people who killed you?
Oh, I'm like by the river.
Oh, in front. They just.
They followed me.
Nice shot.
I
Oh my
can't
God.
see. I can't see with this stupid thing.
I need
Is,
ammo.
is
But-
in this car just slowly like falling down?
Yeah, I think it's drifting. Also, you're getting shot at, and they are definitely real. Let me back up a little bit.
There's there's a team behind us.
So we're like.
Real team behind me.
I had to.
This guy's right here. Take my crown.
I got surrounded by real people and fucking bots. I was like,
Before he killed you.
Brady fart. I gave him a crown. I gave him a heart. It was just one guy. I thought it was a whole team coming up, but you know.
He looks so happy.
I know. It's some Brady fart is his name. He's happy. You call me slacking, buddy.
Oh, purple sniper.
Oh, another one? Okay, cool. Coming. I'm sorry, did that just not hit me? Oh, that's so funny.
Hello? Oh. No, no. Yes?
I may be dead.
You just,
I may be dead.
you just, let me get the car. You just,
Oh my gosh!
go. Oh, he's almost dead too. He was 65 flesh. That is wild.
Oh, he's actually streaming us right now.
Yeah.
I don't have to publish about it. It's honestly just so I can watch it back later and
No,
it
it
doesn't
doesn't.
take up storage on my hard drive.
It doesn't matter. I didn't realize we.
Yeah, I didn't realize
Like I
either
said,
until I
maybe
heard
it
her
was,
say thank you for
specific.
clipping that. I was like, oh. Well, person.
Yeah, I was confused by that story, but
No, no, noodles.
Woo! Coco, be careful.
Wow, what a headshot. Okay.
you got this.
Oh, looks like you're going back this way.
When did you get here?
This is going very well.
Hello?
Very well. Order streamer and get rewarded.
Once again, it's just separated.
Well, I fucked.
Oh no, you're good.
Just
I
the
wasn't
double
expecting
medallion team
4
right on.
people.
You can ram at him. Oh,
I should know. I forgot everything.
I don't know why you pushed that. Right,
You bitch, you what you do?
Dicky, it's up to you, Uncle. Why are you standing there?
I'm dropping
I
a
was in
weapon.
the-
I'm sorry. Wait, they-
It's going well.
Well,
Dang, how
I think
high
I
are you up
healed.
there?
I was near the reboot down. That's how high.
I'm pretty high.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Something. Anything. That works.
Oh. I think he had shield. I'm not sure. Definitely healed though. That's what I know. And that is medallion nearby. My goodness. Edgefists!
Zeus be praised.
That stupid
Oh.
shotgun.
I'm about to say that shotgun's probably the reason why he died.
It was.
I should not raise you guys here.
I believe in you.
think we Gucci. Did somebody just recruit from this van? Oh boy.
Put that bunker up there at the start of the game.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice.
I was like,
It's how you know Alex has been there. There's a bunker.
fucking A.
Oh my god,
What is that?
hello?
Coco. Yeah.
That is,
What the
that
hell?
is-
It's Brady Fart!
oh, where the did they come from?
They were on the top of Olympus.
But like, then all of a sudden they were just down that hill. Oh my god, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's the dude. That's Davey. Davey fucking killed me.
That is crazy.
Brady
They're-
Fart.
Fuck you, Davey.
Aren't they sweaty?
Back to lobby?
Oh, okay.
Like a lobby. Davey.
What time is it? It's
6:30.
6:30. Pum.
That was fast.
Yeah. Gee, what do you want? Okay.
Reggie.
I know he's so cute. You want a snack? You want a snack? What's your snack? What's your snack? Come on.
Apparently we lost you. There's you just.
I'm back. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Do you like my new preset?
Oh, okay. Oh, jeez.
I didn't know we were.
Why are there so many fucking bananas?
I just realized
we're
that.
fucked. Oh, we're
Oh
fucked.
no.
Oh my god, we're gonna get
Oh,
fucking
no.
bananas.
Oh no.
Well, GG's guys. It was nice knowing y'all.
Let's just go for it. Let's just bananas. Let's just go. Do it.
Oh, I've been wanting to play Fortnite all week. Here I am. Playing Fortnite.
Living the dream.
Ah.
Wait. Oh wait.
Wait.
Hmm?
Did you not play the other day, or am I just crazy?
I played yesterday, but not with y'all, and I did like mostly reload yesterday,
Okay, okay.
and it was for like an hour.
Oh.
Wasn't real gaming hours, dude. You know,
Not really the sweat right now, really. No.
I was doing reload. You know, I was sweating, but not like that.
Oh, that scared the ever living shit out of me. Oh, he died. I didn't think you hit him that far, Edis.
You just
So the
cracked.
first player.
Oh, here they come.
From where? Sorry, I'm coming in now.
Yeah, on us, in us.
Oh shit! Oh shit! On me! In me! On me! In me!
Knocked him. We knocked a 90 moose. Damn.
That's a lot of gold.
So half the ships already destroyed again.
Not surprised.
It was me. I drove a ship through the ship. It was ship on ship action.
Ooh.
Oh, hidden treasure!
Mm. Yes. I saw you double back for those explosives.
Please, no pump shotgun. Please, no pump shotgun. Please. Please. Oh, there's never pump shotgun. Thank goodness, at least.
Huh?
Oh, excuse me.
Alex, are you shooting?
Just destroying a car
Okay. Indy, come here.
and wasting my ammo now that I realize that was probably stupid.
Oh, I have a whole
In,
bunch
I'm
of
about to say, Indy, if you don't come here and take your meds.
But I got my meds.
There's more meds here.
I was visiting Jeffrey Rush. Oh, you just got them. Monsieur Rush. Only completed one daily quest. What have I been doing all day?
Dying,
Imagine
eating a
only doing
boneless
one- that's
tortilla.
crazy. You just spit? I'm sorry? What?
Huck tua.
Am I okay?
More
Boneless
shipping
tortilla.
bottles! I have 3 shipping bottles!
Do they stack?
No, they don't.
No, they don't stack.
I want your entire inventory to be.
Yay!
Shooting this way.
Daily quest. I need to collect weapons at this place we didn't go to, and I need to headshot somebody from 30 meters away.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
easy.
do that. That's fine.
I hear a car. Is that y'all? I hear a
No,
car.
No.
I don't even think we're with you, fam. Where are you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm tower camping? Because I'm a whore for information.
Indy, get in here.
That's why we love our local library.
Speaking of, when was the last time any of you have been to a library?
I have no idea.
I think I went to I have friends that are librarians, so
That's fun. I think earlier this year I needed to print something out.
Oh, that's right. You
So I
could
was
do
at the
that
library.
huh?
Hello? There's a car!
It's us.
Ooh, an ammo chest. Please. Please. Can I get in my corner? Thank you. Oh. The wheels. No!
How the fuck did you get through when the door was still there? What?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Magic.
Wait, no, destroy this right. Oh yeah. Aye.
Oh, you're trying to get on top of the. Oh. Yo, if you get fall damage, I swear to you, you just.
I'm fucking honestly.
Ooh, he has the sniper scope one. I missed.
They want to ship in a box.
Yes, always.
Footsteps?
Oh, I drop.
Oh, they're real. Oh, they're real. Oh, they're real. Oh, they're real.
Yeah, he dipping. Also, that's behind us? Yeah. Crack.
He's so low. Thank you.
Nah.
gun is
Nah.
dumb.
Oh, he couldn't go
His
through.
gun is so dumb.
First! Never mind.
Hold on. Hold on. We should get out of here.
Stuck.
Hello?
Back on 75.
Yeah, let's check out up here. Wasted my charges. Oh, car right here. Car right here.
There's some. I cracked somebody.
I'm in the car. I'm in the car.
You guys hit me so much, I couldn't control what's happening. What the heck?
This is fun.
They're so low.
Okay, I'm starting to love the ship of the French so much. Oh my god.
Car.
Reloading.
There's a Eagle Eye.
Sniper.
Where did that car go?
He
They went over
behind
the
me.
hill.
Yeah.
There's a dude shooting at us randomly.
Yeah, it's him. He's
Oh.
trying to get his teammates back.
Oop, missed him.
Cool.
Oh, okay. Well, he tried.
Yeah, he tried. It's okay.
Yeah, miss your
know?
game. Personally, it's okay.
GG's. It's okay to suck.
What's it like being bad at Fortnite? Well, I wake up every day just like everyone else. Coco asked that earlier, and it was like, well, I was just talking about you. I was like, I was
Hold
trying
on.
to give you
How
some,
is
some
everything in here
insight.
already destroyed? What? I'm
You
confused.
know, it might be the ship in a wreck thing. That might have happened.
Oh, the shipwreck. No way. It went all the way down here even?
Got
That's crazy.
shipwrecked.
Yeah, your ship got wrecked. Why? Oh, because it's not a weapon in my hand. I'm so stupid.
No.
Are you saying
Is
no,
there
I'm not
shields
stupid,
somewhere?
or-
Yeah, no, you're not stupid.
Oh,
Is there
well,
half
you
pot
have,
somewhere?
You have no idea, Andy.
What?
Sadly, I am. My KD is my KD. My IQ, I meant.
Lament?
To the average
No.
to the average
want
American.
those. Gimme.
You got the EMPs?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we push back. We push back.
Okay.
Let's.
I'm just going to the next bunker.
Okay.
Don't want to go.
Yeah, yeah. Let's. That one's not open. Oh, it is open. Oh, can I get a ride?
Okay. Uber is here. Please don't mind the smell. There's dead people.
Smell like raw tortilla. That's what it smells like.
Raw tortilla.
Smells like ketchup and raw tortilla.
Yeah.
It's like
As you
escapade.
Ah! Give me that!
Ah,
Yeah, I was wondering. I thought I was wondering.
Oh, she's got in the car. You're good. Go ahead.
Bye.
bye. I'm getting these,
Okay, if we do a DMR game for Alex, we have to really play circle so we can sneak up on the hose.
sneaky hose. Nose.
I shot myself here. Oops.
You shot yourself?
I
Why do I hear
myself?
fighting?
No.
No, that's just. I'm just shooting
Coco
rocks.
You're
blowing
just-
up
you're just-
rocks.
Oh,
Bro.
oh. What happened
Oh.
here?
A lot.
Oh, what the?
Cronky.
Crikey.
Night.
Is there a better shotgun anywhere? Oh, God bless the Lord and the Savior above. Fortnite gods have blessed me today, folks, and I have a Gatekeeper shotgun. We gotta get the fuck purple ping still stands, folks. Reload or Rumpelstiltskin. Get me in there. Can I listen to some music in my Uber? Oh. We're gonna be pinched here.
Said been touching grass all week.
Imagine touching grass.
Dude there. There's a dude in there. Get killed, Anonymous. They're your friends. They all have to die. Oh, I almost blew up the gas station.
No, 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 no.
Wait, you blew up the gas station.
I didn't do it. There are gunfires? Shots.
We're about to be run up. We're about to be run up.
Tortillas?
No, done. Come back here, you bitch. Oh, hello. Hi. No, oh, no. Let me drive, let me drive. Where are the EMPs when you need them?
Oh, I have them.
Oh,
But they're also just letting me blow up their car, so.
that's true.
What is this flower doing? Oh my god.
Come back here.
I don't have any more. Oh.
You have Nectarfest, I want that.
That's too far. Interessant.
Poisson?
Plaisant.
Poisson?
I have Telepatus.
I keep forgetting this weapon is still in here.
That's still in the game?
Yeah, it's still in the game. It just barely shows up.
It's only from that one NPC.
Yeah, just like the. Oh, Indy, you're in here. You scared me. I won't lie. You,
I
s-
love
you,
Bobby.
you scared the shit out of me.
EMP your own car? You probably can. Let's
You
not
Yeah.
probably, you most definitely can. Yeah.
I know.
I can EMP myself.
Actually, I say that. I'm pretty sure I did that earlier. They see us rolling,
Like, hey,
patrol.
cause we riding dirty.
Gotta get me riding dirty.
It gets me riding dirty.
Gotta get me riding dirty. White and dirty.
Oh, white and dirty was so funny. Oh, now you're driving. LOL.
I don't know if this is a good idea.
Oh, I see people.
We're not with you, Edith. You might want to leave. Because Alex is like halfway across the map. We're like, oh, okay.
We're getting shot at.
All right, where?
I don't know.
How are you not dead yet?
I ask myself this question every day.
Oh.
Ooh, bulletproof tires.
It's a reckless ending.
How fun.
This is the longest I've not had fists. This is crazy.
Oh my.
Wait, did Island ever spawn?
Yeah. It was. It was.
You
It's
know,
a,
you know, I may require help.
just keep going.
I didn't realize we were all here. Got one.
Okay, goodbye. What's the banana team?
Is it the banana team?
The banana man voted me. I hit one of them. He's trying to res. They're trying to res. They're just letting me run them over. Why?
How many of you guys? One last banana.
That's not the weapon I meant to use.
Oh, this is cool. Gold, but it's not very cool.
I didn't realize Alex moved. Holy shit.
Told you I'm playing circle here.
There's a guy over here.
Who did that?
What type of gun is that? Oh,
Someone over here. There's someone over here. And there's a car over here.
Go, Indy.
No one's in a bus?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, ridiculous.
Why would I want the bus?
One person in the car. One person up with a sniper.
I like it how you just tried to fuck us up. LOL.
Oh, there's a whole team right here.
Vroom, vroom.
Getting shot at? Need to go.
Yeah.
No, my boss! Never! Bubbles got stored.
Bananas are still alive.
Oh,
One of the bananas. Yeah, I didn't get to kill the last one.
bananas. You said
They're threading here.
Ooh, got crowns. How pretty. That's.
So they're definitely healing back there, but they have to push to us.
Oh,
There's one more right here. One more random one over there I just saw.
138.
Knocked. Done. It's this team right here. 69 on this one. And they're gonna come up.
Thou shalt not
be right there.
enter.
Oh shit.
One's over there. I'm so blind right now.
Why are you
I knocked the guy who's in the car. Somebody's trying to res though. Someone's trying to res. Nice.
Oh my god, I'm low, I'm low, I'm low, I'm low.
He's running.
He was low, he was white. Yeah, bitch! Good trades there.
I don't know why the guy stayed in the car. I was like, I can shoot you, my guy. But alright.
He's immune to it.
Damn.
He loves his car.
Good job, gamers. Good job, gamers. Good work. Good teamwork.
Gamers. Here's some McDonald's. Wow.
Let's go get some G Fuel and
I was
some
trying to s- I
Prime
was trying to say-
Energy.
I hate.
Say Mountain Dew.
You guys like a Mr. Beast bar?
Oh my god.
All the nutritions you need to keep yourself motivated.
Was it a Beastable? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
it's a feastable. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I recently discovered I've never really my niece and nephew have been watching Mr. Beast recently, so I
Aw.
was watching with them. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy is pretty entertaining, I guess. I just didn't know anything about him.
He's an interesting fella. I won't lie. He's rich
Yeah.
just to give away money to get more rich. Which is crazy to me. Like he just stays rich.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I want to follow that business model.
Ah,
We're doing pretty good today, guys.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm with it. I'm with it. I was hoping more people would be on, but
I know,
I
right?
think everybody has to go touch grass tonight. I don't know.
That's
Friday is
crazy.
crazy.
I know that Seho will be home later, no?
Yeah, but
Like
I'd
later,
probably-
later.
Yeah. Ugh, time
Damn.
zones.
I don't know. The only thing holding me back from running to the store and grabbing a beer is Fortnite. So God bless Fortnite for keeping my alcoholism at bay.
Gaming addiction outweighs alcoholism.
Hey, you know what? You know what? And period.
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 It's funny. I never thought I would ever say the day where I was addicted to play Fortnite.
And
Like,
guess who we
ever.
have to I don't want to use the word blame, but
Blame is
but
accurate.
the one gamer
I would use
who-
the word blame.
okay, fine. We're gonna point fingers. I'll point fingers. We're all fucking addicted to this game because of satisfying MSG.
Yeah, literally. Oh my god. And then
I said check. Just want to make sure.
'Cause trust me, I would never touch this game.
Yeah,
ever.
same.
And all of a
Same.
sudden, we all.
I
got-
started playing this game in September of last year.
Yeah, same.
Literally, I can't believe we actually got you to play Fortnite, Indy, which is very crazy.
I can't believe you did either. Like, I'm not an FPS player mostly, and it's like, oh, we can be social? That sounds fine.
Hello, audio. What the fuck? There
You
it
know
is.
what?
There's collectible skins.
You know
Let's
what?
go.
As Genshin players, there was 2 tracks for us. Excuse me, there was 3 tracks for us after you get a little bit of a burnout of Genshin. You either play Valorant, you play Fortnite, or you go bankrupt and you fall off the face of the earth. And I'm glad we've all decided to play Fortnite because that's honestly the best option out of all of them.
Yeah, I think out of the 3, we picked the right one. You know? I tried Valo. Wasn't my thing. Can't lie. Been broke before, so you know. I don't know that would be changing too much, but
Damn, his ass is so nice. I think I'm gonna
They
crouch
nerfed
walk
it.
this entire game.
they nerfed it too. It used to be even more voluptuous.
poor man. Poor old man. So is this gonna be
Like,
like our
God
drop
made the-
spot?
I think it
Oh,
is.
I think so.
Until we lose a game, we'll drop here. Also, I need to.
Alright.
How do
I
you?
do need to,
Wait,
like-
wait. How do you slide across a vehicle? Like on top of it?
Oh, yeah, get on top. Like SUV is probably the easiest way. to
Okay.
do it. You just
Okay.
get on
Can
top
I
of the
land
SUV
here?
and
Can I
slide.
get that quest?
Can I get that? Do it.
Actually, I'm gonna
Okay.
land. I'm gonna land right here.
I'm
dying. Hold on. I'm dying.
Oh mine.
Don't
I see
die.
blue chest.
Simba.
I'll make sure to speak at your funeral.
I see blue chest.
Looks lost?
I dropped my crown in hopes that that person would just pick it up and spare me so I can get my quest done. Now I regret it. I just dropped my crown to a bot. Fuck.
It's Magneto. Hi, Magneto. Oh god, he's got a flintlock pistol. I'm fucked.
Oh,
Magneto's
stop
got a gun.
shooting me.
Magneto's got a gun. Help me. Oh, I will melee them.
Oh, I found fists? Oh, it's Jover. Oh, it's fucking Jover.
That's crazy.
Oh,
I couldn't find a gun.
how many people were over
Neither did-
there? How OG were
The whole
they?
team.
Hmm.
They're real, but I didn't have a gun, so it's like, well, fuck.
I don't know about OG. I just didn't have a gun.
I'm not letting you pass, good sir.
Yeah, I didn't
No
have
way.
a gun.
You
so
just
like,
can
well,
you are you
fuck.
close to their cards?
Nope.
Ish? No, okay.
He's,
Oh no,
he's
okay,
on
no,
deck.
no, okay. Oh, a blue chest.
Yeah, see, this is how I felt. Blue chests are.
Hello? Now's not the time for a raid! I have to clutch up!
Well, didn't read it. How are you doing?
Hello, so we all just died.
Heyo, it's
Yeah.
underscore
Is this gonna be
Johnny
carrying us today?
666
Oh,
rated my
the-
After they
stream
complete their
5
quest by
years.
sliding across the car.
Welcome in everyone.
The
the-
SUV, I'm telling you, you gotta do the SUV.
I did
Yeah,
it.
The mommy herself will carry us
Oh.
through the night. Let's
What,
go.
huh?
Okay. Oh, come on.
So Johnny, thank you for the raid.
Fort mommy. Yeah.
Fort mommy. Mommy. Fort mommy.
Okay, were you guys on the boat?
In the boat.
Yeah,
In the boat.
in the boat,
Yeah.
for sure.
There's a hole in the boat though. The one like you'll see it when you.
Could ram into the boat and
You
destroy
could
it
ram into the
all.
boat, yeah.
You could
You
ram the
completely-
boat.
Like how every other game goes, we just
I
destroy
think
the
when
boat.
you
Like, nothing-
ram into a boat, you call it docking, right?
What happened?
Oh, I don't like that I saw somebody there.
Hey.
Okay, I got one card.
I love how easy it is to just destroy this boat.
I kind of want to leave it semi-alive because
Yeah.
I gotta get
I'm
up
on
there.
The second floor. There you go. There I am.
One. Need
Oh,
says
wait,
one more
what?
up.
Wow.
Oh, there's 3 floors to this thing? Oh shit. Huh.
Yeah, there's like quite
Let's
a
do-
bit.
Oh,
Mission-
that's a lot
mission-
of gold.
Mission complete.
Did everybody leave here?
Taking shrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
pretty
like,
much.
wondering why no one was here. It's like, damn, they
They were like, we got our flint-like pistols and we got our boat. That we
Yar,
can
yar,
drive
yar.
through a
Excuse me,
boat.
can I get through the window?
I think his butt is too big to fit through the window.
Yes, he's caked in there.
Oh, oh,
Hello, John.
come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Alex
Okay.
is attempting a rescue.
How was your
That went
stream, Johnny?
A lot better than expected.
Yeah, I'm gonna just actually just go to where my next quest is, so...
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Alright, fair,
Alright,
fair,
you know,
fair.
GG's.
There's also no loot here, so I'm gonna make sure you guys, end up in a place that is happy and safe, as mothers do. I want to nurture this environment of growth and
Okay. Foster a safe place.
foster, yes, yes, yes. Oh,
Environment.
Oh.
Of, peace and learning.
I think I see somebody here. I think I see
Probably
somebody.
not.
Yeah, there's a whole fucking team. La 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 la.
Nope, they're that's a person.
La la la.
Yeah, the way they was jumping, definitely.
There's several people. Just start dancing.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
You got this. Wait, you got this. You got this. I'm just
I got heavenly confused for you for a second. Oh wait, oh. Oh no, they actually might be fake. Who knows?
I think they are.
Oh my god, I hurt myself. I just gotta do this. Oh my god! My health! I'm out. Fuck them, I'm not greedy.
Fuck 'em.
You break my 50, it's over.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Interesting.
We're in a box.
If only I could see his butt right now.
That's the real tragedy.
I don't like that I see footsteps.
Well, they couldn't stop you from resin anyway, so.
I need health.
Hey, yo, toss a coin to your Witcher, yo.
Was
Oh,
it the
there's one
Wanderer?
vending machine.
Alright, I wanna go to those bots and kill them.
I just see footsteps. Does the Wanderer have footsteps?
Maybe? I don't know.
I'm
Dirty
not
treasure!
sure. Oh, I have full health. Why did I buy? It's fine.
I have Girly Pop for those who are interested.
I am very interested.
Meet me inside the vault.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh wait, you actually can't get in. I thought the door would be there. You're going in.
That's kinda. That was crazy.
You're welcome. I saved you.
Thank you.
Alright, now we're going
Hey,
for those
let's
fucking
bring
bots.
treasure.
Now I'm going after those bots.
I need
I
heals.
see buried treasure.
Oh, here. Here.
Oh no, just hang on to it. I'll just top up here.
Imagine if they were not still here, Eunice.
Sorry.
I'm going across the bridge.
Okay.
I'm feeling lonely. Ooh, this bunker over here is gonna open, besties.
Somehow they were still here. These bots were
That's
still
nice.
here.
Stop doing that!
Oh, they had a gold pistol. Ain't that crazy?
Nuh-uh.
Pistol.
It's not a
Uh-uh.
gold pistol. It's a gold deagle. I lied.
Poopy, poopy, poopy.
I'm sorry.
Alright, ready? Let's go camp the bunker, Indy.
Ooh, I think. I think it. I don't know.
Indy, watch this.
Watch this. Watching. Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
What the?
Mm.
What
Huh?
the? What
I
the?
don't. Huh. How do I get down there without dying?
There's to be a zip line somewhere?
The fact,
Oh yeah.
Or
I was
land in the
about to say,
water?
I don't have any movement. Oh, I
the
guess
fact
water
that
would have
Alex
helped.
did that just so she could see this man's cheeks is it's crazy.
I'm like,
oh my! This poor man getting
okay.
violated.
Oh, this is.
I got hit by a car. That's neat.
Thank
Oh,
you.
it's Yeetus. I got scared.
Indy, you're just watching me. You're not doing anything. Oh my god.
Well, I feel like you need to learn a lesson or something.
Oh my
but I don't know.
god. I was just
I'm
showing you something cool.
Oh, I see. It was cool. It was cool.
Oh
I,
my god, that does, you need to learn a lesson. That is crazy.
Actually, I didn't realize I was not doing it. To be rude.
You're just sitting there watching
I
me like
was.
Jesus fuck.
It's pretty funny. I'm gonna destroy this house. No, that's not funny.
Yay.
Circle, we have 20 seconds till circle closes in.
Give me gold. Not that's not gold. I'll take
They
this
have
gold.
things of value. I'm so far away.
want to mod this.
I think this hand cannon is good enough.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Run. Yar.
Going for a swim?
Oh no. I slid into a rock. Wait, do you run across the water when you're on drugs like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Oh, I've never noticed that.
Hmm.
Andy, get in. Andy, get in. Oh, fuck. You just you okay? Yeah, you're okay.
I'm gonna sit in the back like a weirdo.
Medallions are just right there, hugging each other.
I should go to this one first.
Yeah, I want to hit this bunker too. I don't have a good shotgun.
Boys.
Yeah.
Self-defense.
That's crazy. I fell for it.
Self-defense is wild.
Alright, well, let me know if there's anything worth grabbing.
No, there
My
isn't.
loadout's still shit.
There isn't.
I wanted to get
I
this
mean, I might
shadow
want it too.
mission.
You just my car's here. You can pick me up. I'm gonna go dip my toes in the water.
Why do I keep bouncing? I'm going towards my shadow mission.
This one? Yeah, let's do it.
Fighting? I'm
Okay.
scared.
Ooh, shit, dude.
And there's shockwaves here too.
Should I take the? I want to try the hand cannon.
Okay.
Where the hell?
Oh, oh my. Oh, okay.
Come on.
We're on our way.
Where's this box? Insane. Where-
Anything good in the supply drop? Coco, you okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
Just
really.
spots.
got a rocket launcher. That's about it. No rocket.
There's a medallion team right here. They're coming in. They're coming in right here.
Oh, that's the last spot. Nice. Why did that hurt so much? Oh my god. Like, whatever the fuck you hit me with.
Oh.
Oh, what the? Alex, what happened? Oh,
I got
shit.
exploded, and I should have used my charges. I forgot I had the Hades bathwater. Gotta rid this cart.
Why am I moving so slow? Oh my god, why is this thing...
Yeah, I would scatter. I would
they-
scatter.
Are they EMPing?
I hear you breathing. Look at this ship.
The Great Escape. Run!
That guy's
Oh no, he's
sweating.
not happy. He's not happy. He's coming for me. Galaxy's
just were.
pissed.
This is why I wish Fortnite had a bigger FOV.
Fist him back! Fist him back! There's more EMPs right there. Yeah.
That's a bot. Fuck.
Loser.
I cracked what dude down there.
I was not smart.
Fist. Got it. Get out. You got it.
Okay. I just want to make sure Yeetus is literally in my sight at all
Yeah.
times.
There's somebody on the tree. There's somebody on the tree up there. Careful. There's somebody up on the tree.
Which
Yeah.
Fist. Just fist. Yeah. Yeah, 'cause they're gonna get offensive with it.
They got Artemis.
Oh, this stupid car.
There we go.
Reboot's still in play. Boom, wow.
Wait, you can have higher rarity of those like one-shotters? I thought they were only green.
no, you can get him gold too.
Wow.
It's just
Wanna go
rare.
one.
It.
Oh. Oh, they're gonna triple res. Triple res. Boomba.
Don't touch me.
Ariana, what are you doing here?
Oh my god. You see a whole other squad shooting you and focus on me instead? That's fucking redacted.
This is insane.
Okay.
Yeah, let him fight it out.
I don't trust this thing. Yeah, it's only 2 charges. Never mind. Whatever.
They're probably gonna go for the res. Again.
Oh. So, then.
No, looks like they're pushing out. I don't know. I can't tell.
Double
The fact
res?
that did
Yeah,
not
if
hit
you could double res, but there's still it's that team and us, so I don't know. Try to knock them as you can. They're playing circle here. Yeah, they're playing circle.
Nope.
your charges wisely now.
This dude is hard chasing. Oh my jeez. Watch out, Eunice. They're both hard chasing.
Oh!
Oh my god.
They are hard
Ugh.
chasing. There's nothing we could have done there. It's crazy.
Well, I hope they had a fun game because that was very fun to watch. It's very chaotic to watch.
Nice.
Flashing the
GG.
30 crowns.
That's nothing, dude.
I know. That's what
Nothing.
I'm just laughing. Reach into lobby?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please. Yabata, yabata. Ooh, I got the new bright raider style.
Ooh.
That's not it. It's
Oh yeah, that one's awesome.
it's this one.
Back there.
Honestly, I like it. Honestly,
The shop or something?
already?
No, I lied. It just looks different. Wait, did it? Am I stupid?
Battle unicorn attack mode.
It looks different.
What time is it?
It's
No,
only-
it's not.
7:20.
Yeah, it hasn't updated yet.
Dude, it is so bright outside, and you're telling me it's fucking 7:20.
I know it's summertime.
crazy.
It's summertime, honey.
BRB. Okay.
Y'all go play. Okay. You think you want to be a unicorn? Like the helmet on.
Okay. We do have a spot if Edis is BRB. Is Edis getting food or something?
I know.
Said
He just said BRB.
Enough for a game? I don't see anybody on right now. And Johnny asked earlier if he wanted to play. Okay, I'm gonna run to the bathroom, so if you can take a break, you can do that as well, BRB.
All right, I will take that as a way to go downstairs real quick. Bet.
BRB. Come on, Red. Red said this bitch been sitting for— oh my god, I have swamp ass. That's how long I've been sitting. Oh my god. Ew. Alright. Let's work it out a little bit. TMI. Oh, I'm sorry. It's these like sweatpants I'm wearing. They're like swishy pants almost. And it's just kind of like my bare thighs on this. Oh my god. Luckily my chair is not wet. Okay. Inversion, then squats, then push-ups. Kind of backwards, but let's do it. Ignore the wire management. Thank you. For Sunday recent, I searched that up. Oh, hold on, bakery. Listen. Let me be honest. Ass is ass.
You're too kind. Groba, what are you doing?
No.
Groba's eating the... Those were Kutchings! How could you steal them while she wasn't looking? Oh, my golden shrimp balls.
Huh?
You ate every last one? Groba.
At school tomorrow, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, we all chill tomorrow. Let's go.
So Coco go live?
That's crazy. I can't. my stream will crash if I do it. As soon as they realize it's Fortnite, it's gonna be like, hey, good morning, guys. Yeah. I'll be
What
like,
the
"Oh,
fuck? I'm clipping that. Can you please get off my desk? You're scaring me. Get down. Caught in 4K. You were just fed too. Like, man, here. Oh my god. Somebody clip that. After farming for months, if anybody has a fucking pale flame physical goblet, let me know. Wait, off the fucking bat! Wait, I didn't. Wait, that didn't. Bitch! Bitch! That's what we fucking do! We fucking get this shit! I don't know my... I'm gonna wait till I hear the 5 pings. Alright, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? I don't care! I don't care! I got a new 5-star vote! That's why I didn't mind pushing on this one! Who? I'm like shouting at this. Okay! Okay! I'm done. There, I'm happy. God. Damn. Yeah. Alright. Hello? Hello? I think everyone's still away. How's Fortnite going? Pretty good. We've had some very chaotic games. What is this elimination I got? Oh, it's just a bot. For good night. Oh my god. This is how I died that last game? My 50 was broken? Yeah. Once your 50's broken, you gotta run. You gotta run. I am ready when everyone else is ready. I'm trying to get these quests done, but we just keep getting like sweat on. I need to go here. Oh wait, I just need a tow hook cannon. Oh, we could kind of land anywhere there. Mod a vehicle within 60 seconds of landing from the bus. Sounds pretty easy. You gotta land like right. Just one mod. Yeah, you gotta land like on a car next to a mod. Something like that. I got lost in the vibe of Instagram. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Y'all are back.
I'm back. I don't know where Coco is. Edis is still AFK.
I went and checked on my neighbor's cat. By my neighbor, I mean my landlady's cat. So.
Cat? Are you cat
Yeah.
sitting?
Yeah, they all went. Couch roommate, actual roommate, and her went to Evo for the weekend.
Ooh, nice.
Yep.
What's the kitty's name?
You know, I don't know. I don't know very well. She's just like, here's Pete. Why don't you go check on them? So I'm like, okay. Are they gonna be fine? They're like, yeah, they're just chill. I'm like, okay, well, no names, no nothing. That's cool. I don't know. They seem like they got good food. Their litter box looks clean. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go back next door. I'm just surprised one of them actually came out to greet me. Whereas I didn't see the other one. Like he's just like, hey, what's going on here? Who are you? He's a chubby, grumpy looking cat.
Chunky cat?
Chonky. I'll have to take a picture of him next time.
Yes, please.
I still haven't completed my daily quests. What's up with that?
I know, right? Wait. Yeah, I need one more daily quest. search chests or containers at Lavish Lair, gain shields from shield potions, or collect legendary or mythic weapons. I'll probably end up getting the shield one because I'm only 7 points away. I can't be eating them mushrooms.
Let's see, what do I have to be conscious of here? I need to collect weapons at Brawler's Battleground, which we have not been to, so
Yeah, we have not been down there yet.
not at all. Damage opponents with Thunderburst SMG. That must be the new one.
That's not the new one. That's literally been there all season, all chapter 5.
Oh no, I meant like I completed one quest today. I think that's the one
Oh,
that popped
I thought
up.
I thought you were talking about the gun. I was like, oh, Indy.
No.
Oh.
I'm aware of the Thunderburst.
Okay,
SMG.
okay, good. Okay.
It's killed me many times. I've killed people with it. Hit headshots from 30 meters or more away. I've done that once apparently. I've had this all day, so that's probably not gonna get completed. I don't really shoot people from very far away. Don't think I have any weeklies though, so at least there's that.
I still have weeklies.
Did you ever do the sweat drop one where you win a your victory royale while on a Wastelander challenge?
For the sweat one. I won a game with the Wastelander challenge like at the very start of the season. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
so I'm like I don't want to fucking do it again. I don't remember what one I had. There's one that's like easier to do it with. Hold on, let me actually do some research. Wastelander challenge.
Oh, I need to emote within 15 meters of a player. I haven't done that. The slide kick I did to do that one, I actually killed somebody slide kicking. It was an accident.
Okay. There's one you can't reload. Another one you can't gain shields.
Oh, was there more than just your life ticks away? They
Yeah,
actually
and then
have-
there's another. Wait, hold on. There's some more. Hold on. Wait, I know there's more. Every Wastelander challenge and location Fortnite. Okay. Cannot gain
Gun
shields.
Jam
Reloading is
doesn't
disabled.
sound bad.
Take damage while standing still. Take damage when picking up items. Health and shield items are not usable. Take damage while touching the ground. I think I may have had the cannot gain shields one or the reloading is disabled. Because I have a clip. I'll pull it up right now. I have a clip of me winning it with the Wastelander challenge. Unless, like, they changed as the season went on. You know?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably capable of any of those, honestly.
Season 3. Look,
just-
look at this folder. I have Season 2 DMR shots, Season 3 DMR shot. I'm cooking. I have it all organized. Yeah, it's this clip right here. This is like one of the first games I played. I don't know what one. Maybe I can see here.
I see enemies up there.
Look at my health. I have 1 health. Fix support broken. And I won that one.
Nice.
Perma damage. Oh, wait, what? What one? What was it? Perma damage.
Let's
Oh,
go.
so maybe it was the picking up items one? Wait, what's my inventory? Some nice stuff. I must have, like, accepted the challenge, like, later in the game, so I was, like, able to loot up and, get my shields and stuff. I don't know. Interesting.
That's what I was kind of hoping is that we could get to the middle of a circle and just like be able to do the challenge all at once.
Yeah, they're usually kind of on the outskirts of the circle, unless like. Let me look at the map again. Oops, map, please, map, please. No, there's one in Rebels. I know there's one in Classy, I think. I know there's one here by the Reckless Towers. I think there's one there's probably one down here. But yeah, I'm thinking like this one, the Reckless Towers one, because I feel like a circle's that's still pretty much in the center, and sometimes
Oh,
you can get
yeah,
lucky that the
yeah.
circle's kind of going towards Olympus or Glacier.
I feel like Circle goes towards Glacier quite often.
Yeah.
It's like I'll like start in Glacier and then I have to go like anywhere.
Yeah, that one game we did where I like landed at Olympus and you guys were all the way in the underworld. Like I should have just stayed over there.
Yeah.
Cause like we didn't fucking the circle did not move.
Black Eye has returned.
Welcome back, Coco.
Hello, hello.
How was your break?
Good. My mom made a Asian food.
Yum yum yum.
For anybody who has a horrible spicy tolerance, they probably will eat this, but
I want it.
I want it.
Spicy food is the best.
one day I'll make you guys Asian food. Probably Indy first since you'll see me at TwitchCon, but I can finally make you Labui, even though you called it Labubi. Yeah.
La Booey for La Booby. Let's
Literally.
go. I need to plan an itinerary.
Oh.
For what?
Well, you know, I just like to have like, you know, that so I don't have to like look it up later, and it just reduces it. Just of all the places, you know.
Oh yeah. That's
okay.
me.
And just like things we could go visit. It doesn't have to like it's not stuff we have to do. It's just
Oh yeah, no, of course. I know on my list is either I'm gonna do two things while we're there. Fucking Hell's Kitchen. And
Did you get a reservation?
Hello, Edith.
no, not yet, but I want to.
We might need to. There's like a noodle shop I think that looked pretty good.
I'm gonna
that I
say
was thinking
that. I'm gonna
about.
say Hell's Kitchen, and then
They do ramen, udon, and then all kinds of other stuff.
ew. And then I want to do Korean barbecue for the first time since I've never had any.
Never had it.
No.
Yo, what we maybe should do, and it's up to G Child, right? It's a little out of the way because we'd be going to LA, but like the best Korean barbecue you can get is like in LA, right?
Oh, really?
Mhm.
And yeah, there's this the one that's like top rated, that like it's a neighborhood one that everyone kind of goes to. It's worth it. They like also cook for you. You don't have to actually.
I'm gonna say. I guess it just depends on what time we plan on leaving, because
Yeah.
the event doesn't technically start till Friday. We just have to be in the.
We could do it.
Indy, ready up.
We get it. Oh, I thought I readied up. What
Yeah,
happened?
but Edith is back, so it unrated
Oh,
us.
oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
My
Okay, sorry.
bad.
Continue. Sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. No, it's we'll have to check with G Child. I think we could maybe make that trip and then go back.
Because we don't have to. Because the event's not till Friday. We don't have to check in till Thursday. So it's kind of like.
That would be the easiest way to do it anyway. But it is like
Yeah.
a 45-minute drive, and I know gas being what it is, like I don't know.
Y'all
We'll
got
see.
there's no public transportation.
I make sure, but
Take
G
a
Child has
bus.
his vehicle.
Oh yeah, he has
Oh,
a
he took-
car. That's right.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather drive that. I'd rather give that man gas than.
Yeah, I was
And,
thinking the same thing. I'd be like, hey, G Child, we could just give you some gas money, and like we could just drive that, cause like it is really good. He might know of a Korean barbecue place though. We could ask, but like that's like the place to go
I
in my
bet.
mind.
And then next year, Alice is going.
Oh, we'll see, man. I don't even know if I'll be on Twitch anymore. I hope so. I would love to go this year.
Do you think you're switching softwares or just cutting streaming out completely?
Say it again. Sorry.
Are you thinking of switching streaming platforms or just?
I don't know. I just kind of hope I get my like life together. Like either like I do this fully full time,
Mhm.
and I don't hate myself, and I find joy in it all the time, and I'm not dependent on it. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
But also at the same time, like I don't want to be a sellout. You know?
That's true.
Nobody would ever call you that. Being a sellout is kind of the way of the world, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, like, oh wait, I need to land over here. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sell out also, but like.
I don't know. I'm gonna be 28. You know.
I feel that.
YOLO. Is that what you're gonna
Yeah,
say?
Never too.
Yeah,
YOLO.
you just-
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
like
that's
it's
true.
just
I mean,
really starting to
I don't even
hit.
know if I'm
Like,
going
we're getting
back
old,
to
Alex.
streaming.
We're getting old.
Like, I don't mind aging and maturing. I think it's like one of the best things I've gotten experience in my life.
Right, exactly.
But at the same time,
It's like, damn.
like, if the world's not gonna explode anytime soon, then I should probably like do something with my life. You know? I don't like that there's a team here.
Yeah, I don't either. Hey, it's a guy.
And even if it's not Twitch
Do you have
God,
a weapon?
I still feel like it would
I
be
need a
cool if
weapon.
all of
Hey,
us
it's a
just
guy.
planned
It's
and
another guy.
meet up one way or another.
Hey, it's a third guy. How
They
did
just
I
kept
live
coming at you. They just
That's
came and pickaxe
hilarious.
on you. They just pickaxe you.
I
Yeah.
still don't have a fucking weapon. Oh, here's one.
Wait, I actually need that for
People.
my quest. Can I have
Oh,
that?
here,
I'll give you this.
Yeah, you could have it. That's fine.
Sorry. If
No,
I
it's
find another one,
okay.
if I find another one, you can take it
No,
back.
no, you're completely valid.
Oh, they're crowners?
Yeah, they're crowners. I said the same. I was like,
Indy.
"Oof."
Not the hot droppers being
Oh.
crowners. Oh, I killed one.
Thank you. I'm going towards the box. Maybe.
I'm trying to loot. I want to talk to the dummy. Thank you for the object that is not going to help me here. Alright, let's go.
Ooh, the dummy might have a med kit.
Yeah, he gave me a wait, what
Gave me
happened?
a med
I
kit.
just noticed
As
your
soon as
health.
I saw you do
I
that, I
just
was like,
noticed your
hmm.
health.
I was like, maybe I should get
Wait,
the
actually,
med
you can
kit.
drive, and I'm gonna Tohook cannon. I also don't have. This is my only Tohook cannon, but you have to
Okay,
drive
okay.
past them. I have to deal damage to opponents while I'm on this. Okay.
Ah,
Let's
I
go.
need to do that too eventually.
This is probably a little
Did
bit more
my-
late game quest, but
Did
I've
my
got.
box disappear? Oh no, it didn't. It's this way. Oh, are you okay?
Yeah.
He didn't know I
Good
was
shot.
here.
Oh, your supply drop. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, poor crown team. This is crazy.
How was nobody taking
Oh
this
man,
shit?
I have no ammo.
It's okay. Oh, do you want ammo for that? I probably took it.
No, it's okay.
Oh my god, a
There's a crown
shotgun.
right here.
Why?
I'm
Shit,
coming.
what?
I'm coming.
There's two
Come
crowns.
on, Indy.
Well for y'all.
Come
I'm
hurry,
coming,
rotate
I'm
them.
coming, I'm coming, I'm in.
I'm wait.
Oh, there are people.
There's people here.
I would like a crown as well. Uh-oh.
In fact, you get XP for picking up a crown. So
Where am I? What? I like landed in a corner.
Whee!
I'm going to Stricky
Hello?
Uncle Dicky.
Uncle Dicky, it's crazy.
Thank you. Sticky Uncle
Strict
Dicky.
uncle.
Strict
I don't know how I feel about being called uncle yet. That's crazy.
Unc.
Uncle Dicky. Onk.
Ooh.
I haven't been here in forever.
There's a sniper here.
There's
I
more
would say
MPs
that was
if people want
annoying.
MPs.
The ever living shit out of me.
What?
That car.
Oh, being in the ground? I just left it like that too. I was like, huh, maybe I should flip them. Like, nah, it looks funny that way.
I just kept hearing the fucking turbo go off
Oh,
continuously.
that's crazy. Remember when everyone used to drop here all the time?
Oh my god.
Yes.
Well, that's because there also used to be a.
There used to be a medallion here.
Mm.
Oscar. Used to be here.
I miss fighting her a lot.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't miss about eating impatient food, picking up the bugs.
Hi, Nikki.
Boneless sniper.
I guess that's a good thing about these snipers. They're never boneless.
I would if someone can drive a car and I can
Okay.
damage people with while I'm tow hooked.
I almost messed up.
Damn, this bunker's gonna open. But it's gonna be so far in storm. Let me in. Let me in.
I have a
You
car.
need to do this thing.
I'm going to this house real quick.
Ooh, I want to go in that car.
Ow! Smack
Right
my
here,
head.
Nicky.
Smack my head on the fucking tree. This area has not been looted.
Yay!
You switched into the car so damn fast.
Oh, I need to do shadow breathings. Wait, unhook. Why won't it unhook? There we go. Oh, we have to search for buried treasure. I fucked up. Oh, I need to drink that. Maybe.
I don't know what to do with my loadout here. Yellow.
Did you say it's a heavy loadout?
It's just a weird one. Okay. Find me some enemies, boys.
Oh,
I got a shotgun ready to go.
Okay.
Take me to the yeah! Yeehaw!
Sure.
Not the yeehaw. Hey yo.
there's treasure here if you want.
Alright, partner, looks like we got ourselves a big one.
Oh, treasure. You could do that.
Treasure. Oh, foofy.
Oh wait, I
Oh.
need.
Yes.
Do you need this
yes.
for your quest?
Yeah, I was gonna say I should probably do.
I was
that for
like,
quest,
wait,
huh?
yeah, you need it for your quest. Yeah, that's a big upgrade. Alright. And we go
Do
again.
2 quests at once.
Whee!
Hee-haw.
There's a tree in my way!
I'll take that, I guess. Yeah.
I'll take that, I guess.
So many shot.
Where the hell's at? I don't like that. Wait!
Yeah, I was wondering.
I was at my menu. What the heck? Oh.
I'm just gonna mod this car very quickly. Oh, yay.
I really thought you missed it for a second.
Me too.
Outlaw country.
Oh, someone right here. Wait, someone right here. I gotta damage to them. I gotta do damage to them. I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
You can jump. Wait, where are
Oh, you can jump.
you? I'm getting shot.
Nice.
Why?
Oh, I did a flip. Oh, that was sick. Wait, I'm like, get me back up there.
Oh,
Are
there
you
they are.
on? Oh no, you're just glitched. Okay, for me. Okay, never mind.
Ow. I got Lamoud.
Where the
Oh,
fuck
I
did he
realized.
go? Oh, he's all the way up here.
Eat his fuck. He's on top.
He's approaching us.
I made him fall. Oh my god, there he is. He's cracked.
Oh, right. Sorry, Indy.
Oh, Indy. Hi.
Go save me.
Sorry. I didn't know you were down. I'm so sorry. I'm surprised you didn't just
Huh? What?
destroy the shit.
Hold up. Let me heal up a little bit.
I was just trying to let y'all do your quest, so I was like.
I didn't get my quest. Oh.
Oh my.
Oh,
that's
opponents or
dumb.
vehicles.
I
Oh
got
yeah, come on,
some
let's
of it.
go. We got this. I just gotta
You
shoot
can
a car.
also kill the vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's a game changer.
Exactly.
Also, if you see some yeah.
Car. Literally almost destroyed.
Where?
Oh,
Okay.
we can actually just shoot the car.
I got it.
Nice.
I want to hang out. I like hanging out back here.
I still gotta shoot cars.
There's a
Yeehaw!
medallion team on that side, so where should we go?
Yeehaw! Wee!
Oh no, we lost Alex.
I need some shield. We could just
Somebody's shooting.
fuck off the bunker. Honestly, let's just do that.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize bunker was open. Wait, has no one ever gone to that? Wow.
Doesn't look like it. It looks like they're stuck in a fight.
Yee.
I was talking
Actually,
about
this is a pro
medallion, but
strat,
whatever.
I think.
Very pro shot.
I like the jumping.
Jumping
Legs
is
look really
fun.
funny.
Yee.
Wee!
Oh yeah, right. You guys can emote on that too, right?
Oh. Yes, you can. I have to remember to do that in front of a player.
Oh, right here.
Oh.
Their footsteps.
Say ho.
Inside?
Wait, Sail? What?
No, not actually.
What a
Just
hose
the-
at? What's up,
I'm
Air?
gonna say,
Oh my
what?
God.
What?
Also, I just like referring to everyone as your skin. It's fun.
Hi, Air. Sorry, I'm so fucking locked in right now. Also, should be shooting right now. We're gonna do some.
How am I attached to
Preliminary-
this still? I'm actually scared.
Is there a better shotgun anywhere?
I can see. Oh, it
Oh,
broke
it
off.
finally detached.
Hello? What? Okay, I guess it's not gonna.
Wee. I'm not attached anymore. I'm locked in.
I think the tree stopped it from.
Oh god. Oh
There you
god.
go.
I didn't like that. It started glitching. I was scared.
Where did that person
Oh, don't
go?
tell me. Oh, don't tell me the card's too high. Oh,
Let's go
I'm
a
Olympus. Wait, hold on. Let me pick these back up.
maybe we go get medallion. Or no.
Yes.
I don't know.
Wee. Wee.
Put on your seatbelts. Oh, Mr. Man's here.
God.
Soup belts are for losers.
Alex dropped.
I want to hire him. I love him. He's my favorite NPC.
Oh, I'm gonna say you just. I think we can just go for the. Okay.
Okay, so I was
There a
really
car?
fast. You know what, Alice? Here again. Left
Is
behind.
there a car?
That's
There's a
okay.
car. Let me shoot that car. Ugh, die car. I missed it.
Right there, Andy.
Am I not? I'm not
Oh, you're not
attached
supposed-
anymore? Come on. No, don't kill the car.
I'm making it low for you, so you have to.
Oh,
there you
okay,
go.
okay.
Go ahead.
I
One more.
think we're good. Is that
Dude,
it?
No, dude, it did blow up, but okay.
Oh, it's gotta blow up?
I believe so.
Wait,
Yeah.
are you sure? Oh.
You want medallion. I don't want the why is he dancing? Okay. Well,
What?
Not,
What one?
Wait,
whatever.
what?
What is it?
That guy, Bob was just
Equals.
dancing. He was literally just doing.
Oh no, I'm good on that one.
Oh my god!
Look at her. Here she's doing that.
I still need to hit 3 different people with Nitro Fist in a match. I still didn't do
Is
that. Why
Tricky
did I
Dicky, are
do
you
that?
okay?
Yeah, they're bots. Oh my god. They just scared the ever living fuck out of me. I was like, oh, people.
I think we should still go back to Olympus.
Yes,
Okay.
we should. Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Wait.
Excuse me.
Can we do a drive-by?
You're doing
I would like to do a drive-by.
I think the New Yorker came out of Alex for a minute.
Get on the car! Go,
I
go.
tried. I keep getting hit.
my amazing driving skills.
Yeah, to get flown.
Oh, Alex got left behind. Hello? When did you go off?
Here, wait, there's some bots here we can drive by with.
Wait,
Go ahead.
let me do this cactus real quick. Alright.
If this blows up my car, I'm gonna cry.
You know what? I should probably stand back.
Okay, let's test it out.
I just hurt the car instead.
It just hurt the car. Oh no.
Oh my god. Oh, this medallion team's coming at us
None of your
right here.
repair torches.
Right here.
Oh, yep.
I need repair torches, everyone.
Ow! Ow!
Oh my car.
I don't have health. I'm dead.
Go sit in the water.
Okay. Nope.
Holy shit!
The hell?
It headshot me.
I just want to repair my car. Sorry. Yeah, it's just seriously no repair thing, dude. Wait, there actually might be one.
Oh, yeah, it's just leaving me.
Oh, I didn't see. Whoopsie. Okay, okay. Oh no. Okay, wait, no. Okay, wait, hold up. I may have destroyed like half of the architecture here, but you know what? That's okay. I did it! Woohoo! I guess.
I'm very impressed, I won't lie.
I'm dead. Indy and I are dead again.
Yet
Operation.
again.
Layer repair torch. Someone's there. I'm not gonna fight the next hit.
I fucking hate Mag. Oh, there's no fucking way.
How did he get all the way over there?
I have no
Hold up.
clue.
How did I get all the way over there? The guy you left behind found me, chased me.
I was like, yo, I was just healing for a second.
Yeah, that second did all that. So he saw me, and him and his team took an opportunity. So I don't know what to do.
Bye.
Okay, I'm leaving that car!
I feel like Magneto just shouldn't not be
Yeah.
able to stun you like that. It is nuts. Now I think it's just a medallion team in you.
Yeah, definitely on the roof.
Hello, let me. I'll get my gloves out. Oh my god.
Isn't this the
Oh,
same
that
team?
stinks. Yeah, I think it is.
No, it's not. It
no,
is not.
it's not. That is the same skin. No,
Yeah, but
that is a
3
significant amount of crowns.
Go play ranks, dude. Go play ranks.
I don't know. Something seems kind of.
Go outside, please.
Is crazy.
I'm sorry. I got very distracted by the drive-by. But can we try doing that this time?
Can we what?
I really just want to drive by a team.
Yeah, we can do that.
Shop did reset now.
Go.
Oh, shop reset. Let's check it out.
Oh
It's
yeah,
literally
it's
the same
probably-
thing, just one thing added. Literally one thing got added.
Really?
Okay, well, one
Oh.
set got added.
John Wick, Leviathan.
Wait.
That's it.
Wait. This is so cursed.
Yeah, John Wick and Leviathan.
Zorgaton. Look at his little face. I can't. I need to see him do emotes. Oh, good. John Wick.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing. No new songs. No new instruments. New packs?
I don't think so. So it's just.
Nah. I'm waiting for a new Save the World one. That I like.
What is this?
Zorgaton is low-key a baddie? Yeah, I knew you'd like that one, Nick. I knew you'd like that one.
Heck.
What are these popsicles?
Oh, Nick.
What's
These
that noise?
popsicles are scary as me. I'm sorry.
Apparently, we need to deliver the jar of dirt. And then
Oh yeah, we
Alright.
do need to do that. We should go do that.
But yeah, he's like all the way out here though. Like, holy croids.
You know what? I need to go near there for Peabody.
Oh. Locker.
Wait, is it right there? Is it literally someplace?
Let's pick another skin.
Oh, it's right there.
I haven't looked at this skin yet.
Ooh, I like that skin, Indy.
X23. Wolverine's clone. Where's the dirt at again?
Wait, did you
Oh.
not collect the dirt?
I did collect the dirt. No,
I
but
never
I
got
also
to
have a
say, yeah.
quest where I need to go to that place anyway, so we might as
Yeah.
well. I have to collect weapons at Brawler's Battleground, which is apparently where you need to drop the dirt off at, so that works. I got paid today. That's crazy.
Oh, you know what that means, Indy? Get yourself some fucking food.
Food. Mm.
You need food.
Actually,
oh my
so
jeez.
since I just I might heat up some of the
Tortilla?
If you say tortilla, if you say tortilla, I swear to you, my guy. I swear to you, your whole life isn't based off of a tortilla.
I was gonna say the frozen dumplings I have. God.
You're telling me you had dumplings this whole time?
But I don't have a way to heat them up, Coco. Like the dumplings I have, they don't warm
Oh
correctly
yeah,
in
that's
an
right.
air
Because
fryer.
you don't have the.
They gotta
the
be
stove.
steamed or pan fried,
I
really.
forgot. Yeah.
So, but I have access to my neighbor's place, so I might just cook the dumplings in her place, to be honest with you. Oh wait, are we jumping in the?
I'm doing this quest. I want the XP,
Oh.
Pookie. I want to get this.
Oh,
Huh? Jeez. Well, I'm going there.
Wait, is that the jar? Oh, that's the jar.
You see the ship?
Okay, I'm going there.
Jason,
then.
this
That's-
is the
out
jar
there, yeah.
quest.
I thought it was the same place as the other place. I'm delusional. It's fine.
Come here, Jack Sparrow.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
There's a lot of people here, and I'm quite scared. Never mind, they're all going on Glacier. I'm gonna land right here and get a gun, and then I'm gonna go
You
deliver
kinda
the
sounded
jar.
like sucrose for a second.
Yeah, I
Wait,
was like,
really?
"Oh."
Yeah. It's kind of like.
My experiment was a success.
Yeah. That's exactly it right there.
Almost
Mr.
sounded
Albedo,
like-
do you have the jar of dirt?
Sounds like almost every.
Wait,
song
isn't
in
Jack Sparrow
the
down
shit
here
you
by
know
the
over there.
cave?
Is he?
Might
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm on the ship. I don't. Was I not supposed to be on the ship?
either or, I don't mind it. I want to see the ship.
You know
anyway.
what? This ship
ship's
reminds me of Beto's ship. Hey, everybody, watch this. No fall damage. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
oh,
Let's
I
go.
was
For anybody that needed gold, here you go.
Oh my god, I got a purple pistol.
Bring it to me, please.
okay.
I'm talking to Jack. Hello. What's that you've got there? A jar of dirt. I've been looking for that. Hand it over, please. United at last. Thank you. Now bugger
Why
off.
is this barrel just stuck on the wall? What the?
I don't know.
He's giving me buried treasure? I'm buying that? I have buried treasure.
He's probably
Wait.
scamming you.
Oh, guys, come on. The treasure's up there. The treasure's up there. It's gonna be... I got buried treasure.
I don't know how to get out of here at this point. Oh, there's a treasure chest. Let's open that and then leave.
You just...
Oh, this is
Fist.
cool. Oh, treasure. I am inside the cave. Someone help.
I'm gonna say, where is
Oh,
he?
is Yo in the
He's
coast
right
over
outside
here?
of the cave. Yeah, he's right outside of the cave.
Is this him?
Yeah. You should see
I
a little
have the
icon.
purple pistol.
Okay, I'm coming to you.
Oh, wait, no, I want those. Give me those back, Coco. God damn it, I didn't mean to drop it.
I don't know how to get up. I think I have to go through the cave. I can't get up. I have to go through the cave.
Wait.
There's a cave?
I'm in it. There's always been a cave.
Yeah.
guys.
Oh. There's always been a cave. Like, you didn't know
Wait.
about the... Oh, God. How does one...
Wait, what do you mean there's always been a cave? I don't think I've ever... Well, I think I've never been purposely down here.
How does... Oh,
You have to crouch?
I see.
Old. Old me hearties.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck. This is messing with my claustrophobia.
I have 3. I have another 3 shipping bottles. Fight me.
Thank you, Edith.
I still have not found a shotgun.
Ooh.
Well, maybe the treasure will have.
It,
Oh,
it,
there's
it,
gold.
it only has flint locks every single time.
Well, I want to do it for my quest.
Sack of Truth.
Oh, there's just a outhouse here. Whee!
Wow, that actually pushed me back. That's crazy.
Oh wait, seriously?
Yeah.
X marks the spot.
Oh.
Do I dig?
Ye dig. Ye dig.
Whoa! Ship in a bottle. We fell to the
I
mountain.
want another ship in a pile.
Can you carry more than one? Probably
I
not,
have
huh?
3.
Oh, nice.
Why do you have 3?
I will only clear 4.
I will carry
I
the
need a
other one.
shotgun.
No, I have to carry all 4.
Oh, can you carry 4?
Yes, I'm gonna be a maintenance.
Tricky dicky, all
That's
right.
fine. How many can you carry up to?
Yeah, I found a
have
gold
5.
gun.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
nice. That's
I have-
actually
Coming down
kinda
to you.
nuts.
I think you can
This
carry your
bunker will
full
open over here.
inventory. Yokoho me hearties. You guys.
The bottle's really good. Basically, can get you out of any situation.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Whee! Whee! Not gonna take fall damage.
I want a whole inventory in a bottle so bad. Should I keep carrying a flintlock or should I have a shotgun
Give me
on
that.
me? I have no shotguns on me. I just have.
You don't need a shotgun. You don't need a shotgun.
Yeah, I could just ram into people.
Yeah, you don't need a shotgun. What's that? Using guns in Fortnite.
What's that? Yeah.
Question mark? It's kind of far. YOLO.
Does anyone have sniper ammo?
Can I have rockets?
Ooh. Here, I only have 2.
Better than nothing.
I have some. Oh, I lied.
Ugh, liar!
Stone him on the wall.
Do you need rockets?
Oh, dang. I was kidding.
Is that
when
a
I said stone
headshot?
me. That's crazy. That was a headshot. Oh my jeez.
Ooh, I was just practicing.
Damn.
I was just practicing.
Headshot. Headshot.
Match found. I want to do a whole game where I talk like Sucrose now.
Or we
Do it.
And make one of the
I'm gonna say, did your brain freeze?
No, I was waiting for you to get in the car.
Or
I
like
want to
Ant-
make one of
Ant.
the those customizable skins, like the one I have right now, like look like Sucrose. Okay, where are we going? Passenger princess, you're my navigator.
Ignore that.
Test
Ignore
something
that.
for
Ignore that.
science. I have to
Bunker,
test
I
something for
guess.
science.
I'm waiting for a zone to
Okay.
close to see if bunker opens.
Oh, this.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
I should call the tower, honestly.
Yeah, I'm saying
didn't
tower, but there's also a medallion team heading straight for tower. So.
Oh, we'll get there
Ah,
before them.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Just quick. Just quick. In and out. In and out. In and out.
And this
Come
bunker is
on.
opening, so.
Excuse me?
I'm about to say, huh?
I wish I
In
wish
and
I
out.
wasn't the person that-
In and out. Let me tap some of those guys real quick. Bam.
Fall off the mountain.
Did I get the quest? I don't even know.
Imagine I immediately die and I just get.
Yeah, I did it.
Seeming with all-
That was an easy way to hit 3 different people with nitro.
May I have 10 bullets of sniper ammo, perchance? Yay! Thank you.
I have missiles.
Okay, yeah. We run back to this bunker. Come on. Come on. Make sure you're reloaded. We're doing this quick.
Magneto glow under a car. It's funny.
It's fucking disappeared. La 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 la. Just passing
Flint locks.
through. Don't mind me. In and out.
In and out.
In and
Also, I
out.
don't even need to go to
Animals.
bunker.
Animal style fries.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Oh. Wait, do just all. Wait.
I tried to grab my gun back, but I couldn't do it. Hold on, here, Alex. Here, hold on. I'm trying to... Okay, there you go.
Oh, thanks.
Oh my! I was like, what the... Well, whoever took the
Somebody will-
gold weapon now, I guess is theirs.
You can have it. You can have it. It's, no,
You're
you
right.
can have it. It's fine.
I don't have movement. We have something. I have this to counter cars and I have this to counter cars. Okay. I don't know if there's. I think we should push towards Olympus, or we could hang out here a little bit. Can I have some rockets?
Here.
Thank you. This is my Reggie skin. I look like Reggie. Ooh.
Oh, I forgot
Ow.
that. I forgot that knocks you back. Whoops.
I would just
Do
say-
we go island or do we go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indy?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm sorry, I was looking at the. Ow! I got knocked back.
Okay,
God
make
damn
sure
it.
you are reloaded. We
I
are
was-
definitely coming across a double medallion team here, folks. I'm gonna try to ram the car onto island, and it's also gonna be out of circle a little bit. So it's again a quick in and out, defend, destroy. Excuse me.
Destroy.
Yes, yes, indeed. Channel Batman. Yes, exactly what we need you to do. If you see a rift, bang my line.
Bangle.
What?
Here's your first stop. Okay, I'm gonna rift up.
Oh, it went on the roof somehow? What do you mean?
Oh, there's a rift. Good job, folks.
Oh, hello?
I can finally get fist.
Whee! Hello.
Oh.
Oh!
Just on the
It flipped! It
Straight
flipped!
through the fucking floor.
You can have.
Hello.
I've been
Wow.
I
I
don't
did
know
not
how
give
it
two
did that.
thoughts to that.
It
I
just flipped!
just...
my
Yo,
God.
Indy, I know
Oh my
that was for me, but the fact that Alice just took it like that was crazy.
Oh. You said here, you can have it, and I was standing right in front of you, so I said, okay. Nope, there should be fists here. I laughed so hard.
Wow. Not a single
Garbage.
fist.
What is
There's
wrong?
still chests! There's still chests! What do you mean? There's still chests!
Not a single one. That is crazy. Why do you have so? Why do you have so many? I didn't even know they could
I don't even
stack.
have a single gun.
Oh boy.
You don't
Wait,
have-
wait, I have a question. If you use the ship, if you use the ship
Shit!
on the island and you like spawn off the island, are you gonna die to fall damage?
I don't know. That's a
You
good
wanna
question.
test it
Do
out?
you want to try?
I'm not testing
Hold
that
on, this
'cause
team's
I
right
just-
here. This team's right here.
Ooh, ray gun.
Right here. This guy's low.
Drop
What?
one. Yes, I'll try it.
I hit the other
What,
guy. with the
high?
gun.
Yeah, I'll try it. Drop it.
Oh, I'm not using it. Let's
Yes, give it. Let me try it. Let me try it. Let me try it.
Okay, then Indy here. Can I have your ship in a bottle then?
Alright,
Yeah.
I knocked 2 people.
Oh gosh. I should have hopped on the ship.
Oh no! I need rocket ammo. I need rocket ammo. Please,
Oh
please,
shit!
please, please.
I landed like on the ground
May I have
completely.
someone's ship in the bottle? Yes or
It just landed me
It's not-
straight on the
it's not my
ground.
weapon. I'm gonna bring
We
a
gotta go.
shotgun.
We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Oh, freak. Does anyone have shotgun ammo? Never mind.
We go here.
I give shotgun then, but I talk to.
We can come
Mr.
back to
Jeffrey
Island,
Rush real
too.
quick. Jeffrey
Oh,
Rush.
why is it so?
You have map, Jeffrey Rush?
Ooh, they're over here.
No, somebody
I
bought
keep
your
thinking
map.
he keeps
God
saying
damn
Jeffree
it.
Star. Like I don't know. Like I still
Everyone
keep
keeps
thinking
thinking I'm saying Jeffrey Star.
Alex, may I perchance get a little bit of shotgun ammo?
Oh, I
Yay!
want some chocolate milk.
Indy, now's not the
Yum.
time. Can
Yeah,
I have
Now is not the
rockets?
time.
I give you
Rockets,
all my
yes.
rockets,
Where are
girl.
you? Oh.
I'm
I'm
gonna
coming.
save it. I'm gonna save it.
I lost my movement to test that out, which is crazy.
Oh, I need rockets. I can
I mean,
give
it
you.
worked. You could actually just do it off
You
the
did
ship.
shotgun ammo? Someone needed shotgun ammo.
There's a whole car
Me.
fight going on over here.
No.
I see a car. I see a car.
I'm so slow, I have no movement.
Alex!
I fucking died to fall damage.
I mean,
Please
I
help.
told you,
Please
but
help.
It's okay.
There's nobody over here.
Why is it a 20 million porta bunker?
Oh, there's a car coming.
I'm under the bridge. I'm under the bridge by the Oh my god.
Ho 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 ho, bitch.
Yeah, everyone's fighting. Can you please press me? Everyone's distracted. Please. Please.
Nope.
I'm fucking a box. I'm inside a box.
Hold on.
Getting done.
Oh, he's not chasing me.
I got him. I got him. I'm alive somehow.
You can take the zip line up. Can you hit these barrels?
Stop shooting me, you bitch!
I'm getting shot at. Someone's
Thank
trying
you.
to kill me. Oh my god. Someone killed me. There's a car right here.
I'm going in the zip line.
Midas, you can steal my ships if you want. I'm dead. In the tunnel.
Coco.
I have a soda, Fuguchi.
Do you have rockets?
Yeah.
There are rockets
Thank
on my
you.
dead body
Thank
in
you
the
so
tunnel.
much. Thank you so much.
Ow.
Fuck did that guy go?
He ran. Oh, Indy has fist. That's right.
I don't have this.
Okay, what's the move? What's the move? What's the move?
I
I
have
had
nothing.
Magnetos.
Go
I
here.
wasted all my ships and none of them hit. I'm very sad. I wasted all of them for nothing. This is good. Oh hi.
Oh, hi.
Shit.
We're okay right here.
Oh.
Midas, if you can make it to me, I'm right here.
Damn.
No, never mind. You're dying.
Hey, that's the car. Killed the guy who had that car before.
Oh my god.
Damn.
I just did not have.
Was not the plan.
I liked my loadout too.
Dude, not having movement is so.
Yeah.
But no, you just having all these ships. Oh my dude.
Yeah.
Not even every single of them. It was all useless.
I made a bad move and did not reload my gun before I left, so.
It happened to all of us.
I did kill that one guy before I got in the tunnel, and I had like 5 health, and then I got ran over by the car. It was a good time. Oh yeah, I'm 100% gonna be heating up dumplings in my day. That's definitely what I'm gonna be doing.
Oh, that other team that killed us got out. Oh,
Isn't that the guy that killed us in the tunnel, or killed me this
Yeah.
time?
yeah. He was so low. I wasn't ready to push that.
It's like, what kind of skin is that? That look cool. We'll never know.
Nick, are you still on my Genshin account? I want to do TCG, but you're on my account right now. Can you do my abyss while you're... Let me message him. Can you just do my abyss? Okay. Okay. Let's learn.
Learn?
I'm going to... I think Yidis should not take 4 cans
Yeah,
chips
that's
in a
fair.
can.
I don't know. Seems like
When
it
we
might be the new
move, I'm
meta.
gonna move with everybody else. I feel like I held back and tried to fight people when everyone had gone. Coco's gonna have movement this time. Indy.
Just, you know, do better.
No. They gotta be specific, so you know there's something you can work on. Where do you
wait,
find
did Alex
yourself? Like,
jump?
I'm going to a
Alex
ping.
jumped.
I'm going
Oh.
to Oscar. I jumped, but I'm gliding right now. I'm taking my time.
I see. What's
Here.
I need to do? What's my homework teach?
Think one step ahead. I think that's what you need. Like,
Oh, I.
you know what I mean? Oh,
Not
excuse you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's them spices is working.
Spicy.
I'm feeling spicy.
Feeling zesty?
Spicy. Too many people in here before me. I am backing off.
Okay. I'm going fishing. I'm being
Alright.
shot at. Oh.
Already? Wow.
Yeah,
I
that's how
haven't
many
even.
people went in
My
here.
feet haven't even touched the ground, and I was getting shot at.
I was like, damn, that's a lot of people already. It's fast.
Oh my god, stop giving me these ugly weapons.
Oh, you guys aren't with me. Okay.
Buy medicine.
Oh damn.
Excuse me.
Coco.
How are you shooting at me? How do you see me?
Coco.
This is not fair, Mr. Bot.
Yeah, he's shooting you from
Yeah,
far. What
I
the-
know, right? Like, how do you see me? Oh, that's an enforcer. No, thank you.
Remind me after this, I need to take my pills.
Okay,
Take your pills.
take your pills after this.
Yeah, take your pills after this.
Damn it.
Okay, guys, I get it.
The caveat
Alright.
would have been good. I don't want to feel responsible.
I'm in a shield bubble.
Nice. What are you bubbling from?
Oh, that's
Nope,
some bot
they
that
are-
was shooting at me.
Oh, there are lots of footsteps.
Yeah, they are holding
Steps.
each other's cocks right now. Oh my god.
Oh. Where?
Thank you, Yudis.
Come back here. Yeah. Trying to
Yeah,
run.
good
Hell
Forks.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
Forks.
hey, guy. There's a guy shooting at me. I'm running.
I may or may not be side questing right now. Slash
There's
I'm
a
trying.
guy coming up on the roof.
Slash I'm trying to swing around because I can't.
Magneto?
Oh,
Go
what
away.
the? I'm sorry, did you guys blow up that building?
Oh, that was me. Sorry, not sorry.
Because I almost, what do you mean that's sorry? I almost fell into the guy. I was
Oh,
like,
well,
wait a minute,
let's see,
what?
Ah, John Wick! Ah, it's John Wick! Ah, ah, ah.
I was like, oh shit.
He's dead.
Ooh, you had a. I don't like the autos no more.
Ooh. I take laser beam.
Also
Oh
need
wait, this
res?
vault up here is like all piratey. Wait, that's so cool.
Piratey vault!
Yeah.
I'm healing.
That's cool.
Oh. Oh! There's a car.
Yeah, it's EMP'd.
I'm getting shot! Fuck!
I killed him.
Yay, we all killed them.
One bullet left to spare too. That is crazy.
You killed the sweaty people?
Yeah, we killed this one.
Nice. I thought I was gonna have to go on a rescue mission. I was gearing up for it. Okay, I'm on my way to y'all.
Pirate vault.
Ooh.
That laugh.
I may be having a heart attack right now. I don't know what's going on.
What just happened? How did you fly like that?
Oh my god.
What did you do?
Crash pad. Out of the crash pad.
Oh,
Wait,
Dickie. Where Dickie? Dickie, come here. Wait,
Can
hold
you
up.
please
Wait,
put the explosives on my? Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Here, I have something for you, Edis.
I have something for you. It's great.
The fact that they're all still watching us is crazy.
I don't want this no more. I don't trust it no more.
I swear, if I get blown up. 'cause
Okay,
of
I'm not
this,
driving. I can't drive because I'm holding the
Oh,
remotes.
I would love to drive.
too late, I'm driving.
Ow.
I don't
I
trust
can't
you,
summon the
Edis.
boat in the car. God damn it.
That would be crazy. I won't lie.
That
Wait,
would be the best.
Wait,
like,
if I
Trojan
put a
horse
shield bubble on us,
tactic.
would the explosives only explode on us?
It would only explode on
Oh
us.
my god, that would be so horrible! That'd be so horrible!
Oh, that'd be funny as fuck though. My jeez.
I think we should test this on bots and not,
Oh, speaking of bots.
yeah. Oh, right here. Get ready to jump out.
I don't think that works.
Too many beats.
Yeah, but did it even blow up your car?
No,
Did it?
it didn't.
Too many beats.
Hello? Can someone get this bitch off my car?
Get off the car. Ho. Too many beats. Them laser guns be everywhere. Oh god.
Oh, damn. Well, now it exploded.
I had enough.
Poor car.
Did we see if that bunker was gonna open? Uh-oh. Oh, that worked. Wow.
Nice save.
Oh no. How did I miss that?
This bunker's not gonna open.
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, there's people down here.
Away, away.
It's the blonde
Oh, that
bitch.
was
Kaylee.
that was a person. Oh, I thought that was just somebody down. That's crazy.
Ooh. Hello. I would like to search for chests. Thank you. Oh, there are people coming up on us. We could buy a house.
Who's that person? That's whatever. Megalodon.
I hear a car coming up. Oh no, that's Megalodon. Okay.
Goodbye, Swamp Rhino.
Don't destroy the bus just yet. Hold up.
Oh, my bad.
We'll say if you could steal the bus and then stop them from.
EMP, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
There you go.
There you go.
Come on.
Well,
Oh, what?
Oh my god, I missed all my shots. I think Coco gets that.
So many bubbles. It's funny because like, yeah. Oh wait, treasure.
Oh, our treasure. Wait, our treasure.
oh,
What
I
the-
forgot
Wow.
about the treasure.
Oh, that's crazy.
Footsteps
you
right here.
just-
What is that? I can't
Where?
tell. Wait, why is it not
Oh,
open?
wait, after that.
Jesus, I fucking missed like everything.
Oh. The other treasure in the other way.
Oh my god. It's over.
Oh. Oh, sorry.
It's
you
okay.
just-
It's okay.
Here.
Okay.
I was gonna go to the other treasure.
I'm gonna go heal this car. Should I go heal this car?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a dude.
I see you. wait. Now.
The tires are just poorly screeching.
Oh.
Where is he?
Hang on.
Where's that Indiana Jones skin coming back to the shop? I want it. I actually have money now. Last time it was in, I didn't
Oh,
have
this
it.
bunker's open. This bunker over here is open.
I should got the treasure.
Oh.
Coco and I are at this bunker.
Here you go. There's some, cool stuff. That is very ugly. Never mind.
Oh, I need those Magneto first. Okay.
Ooh, tower. Yowzers.
Okay. Oh, where'd you go? I'm coming.
Uh-oh. Someone's shooting me. Someone's shooting me.
Back up, back up, back off, back off, back off. We're not with you.
I'm in. Haha. Fuck off.
Where's everyone? Oh, y'all at that bunker. Whoops.
It's okay.
We're going to
We can-
island, I guess?
Okay, we'll meet you there.
You know what, I'm just gonna wait for Rift. I guess you can... Your thing.
Yeah, okay. Ready, Coco?
Modding real quick.
Where's my Rift?
Alright, Gucci, coming.
I'm just reloading my shotgun before we get in here. Okay. Can you ping Island for me?
Hold up, I shall
Oh no. We were stuck.
What happened?
That was close.
We almost. Whew, that would have
We
been
almost
bad.
lost a bus permanently.
Eee.
Oh my god! Yes!
How did you guys see this?
Wait, just leave it. Leave it so they can see what you did.
Medallion's
That's-
coming up on you guys, I think.
Oh.
Or is that?
Oh,
The bus!
God.
The bus!
What was that?
I think it was a flintlock pistol. Oh my god, we're stuck. Here, Coco. Shoot, Coco! Why'd you get off?
A car?
Yeah, this medallion team's coming up on us. I can't see them. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Oh.
Oh.
I think the bus is too big.
Ooh!
Where are you? Okay, where are you? Here?
Oh god,
I need to
I have to stay on the bus.
Oh my god. What is going on?
Is it going forward?
I had to get off the bus. They were shooting the crap out of me. I was like,
It's
oh,
glitched.
what
It's
the
glitched.
heck?
Help! 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 I have no health. I'm out. I'm
I'm in it. What the fuck?
Give me heals. Give me heals and fist right now. There's one guy that's really low.
Alright, well. Okay, never mind.
Alex, just look at that.
I can't. There's a team here.
Oh,
What the hell? I
saved
see
him.
it now.
Oh, those fists saved him. That's crazy. Oh, somebody's
Yeah, I have to heal. They're still going up and down.
We can't do anything with the car. It's stuck.
It's stuck like permanently.
Oh yeah, I can't even fist it out of there. Oh god.
It's glitched.
Wait,
Wait.
yes!
Oh wait, we did it! We did it! Oh god!
Okay,
I'm so
well
sorry.
there goes.
Well, no, I'm still here. I'm still here. Oh god, okay.
just
I might
res?
have messed up.
yeah, they did. I couldn't shoot them though because they were behind the truck.
Want to see something funny?
They're low.
This is something funny. Where did you come from? I killed you.
There's one all the way over here. I think the guy's weak. Do you have rockets? Can I have rockets?
Here, I have rockets.
Where are you?
Rockets.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you. So they're going all the way up
Check out
here.
heals.
Yeah, they're up there.
Oh, Jesus. Oh shit.
Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Because we go back over here. Ready? Let's go.
Oh, you just killed him.
I have the car.
You go ahead, you can drive.
Fixed it.
Was that gold?
Okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's Mechanicus.
I
The
got
one
it.
that Lumen stole? That.
Yep, I want it. LOL.
I'm sorry, Lumen. If you're watching this, Lumen, I'm very sorry.
I think they're in here.
If there's more crash
Yep,
tests, I would be
there's
happy
one
to
here. There's one here.
crash.
I'm going up here.
Oh, there's a guy here.
Oh man.
Oh, there's a guy about to kill me.
It went in the. Okay, well.
Indy, get out of there. Pull them closer up here. Pull them closer up here so we can shoot them.
Yeah, they're okay.
Anyone see Crash Pads?
No.
I
They
think
might
it
be
was a
trying to
bot.
res.
I don't hear anything yet.
Rockets, please. Thank
You
you.
used all your rockets already?
No, I was just getting nervous. I need to have them ready to go. Ah! You see them?
You killed. Wow, you just it's crazy.
I see them right here.
I love Crash Pads. If I know
Right here.
Crash Pads, I would absolutely love it.
They're coming across here.
Flush, the guy Magneto. In Storm Flush. Right here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh shit, dude! What the fuck?
Nice.
Oh, Gene, thank you for catching that. Thank you for catching that. Good job, everybody. Yes, 11 elims. Back to lobby, gamers. Back to lobby, gamers. Does anybody else want to swap in here? I think I need a dinner break. I got cursed gold.
So my hands are cramping.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys wanna, I wouldn't mind going to boil those dumplings real quick.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hungry.
All right. Well, thank you for the games. Actually, I think I'm gonna end stream now, and then
Alright, that's cool.
we can still game later. But thank you, Indy and Coco, and you just for the games.
Thank you.
Have a
Yeah,
great
for the
evening. See ya later. Toodles. Thank you, Johnny, for the raid. Andy for the 32 months. I love you guys so much. Please take care. Let's do a quick raid here. I don't know who's live. Anybody playing Fortnite? Anybody playing Fortnite? Anybody playing Fortnite? Anybody playing Fortnite? No one's playing Fortnite. Oh, Danny's on. Where's right, Danny? Yeah, let's read Danny. I hear voices. Hello. Oh my God, we're taking a dinner break right now. Hi, Sahil. Are you home from work? We love you so much. Please go show Danny some Fortnite love. Bye, Edis, Tiru, MSG, Jean, Aurora, Coco, Clara, Dope, Mars. I am BDG, Indie Saga, DJ, Johnny. Everyone's been here. Love you guys so much. I'll see you in a bit.